Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we are experiencing Flintlock-beard. OP did voice himself, but you might have not have seen him around the community in a little while. And why exactly is that? Well, let's pull up some screenshots. This is our OP, Mr. Floppy, sitting there on the potty. He sent a message to one of our community members, thinking that this was appropriate despite himself being married. He's absolutely earned himself the neckbeard voice. I was on playing games and had to mute it from the yelling and writhing. Yes, man-child gamer rage. Nothing is more attractive to the female form. But he didn't decide to just stop at one, because, oh, now we have another one. He's looking awful sweaty in this. I'm exhausted and sweaty. And I need to cool off. Why? Why is this person interacting with my channel at all? I mean, he's not anymore. He got run off in shame, as he well should have been. Shower tonight's gonna be so welcome. The fact that you left is so welcome. The fact that this is a stain on my channel is really tragic. But I guess that just goes to show, you know, don't get involved. You don't really know who you're dealing with on the internet. We got one more receipt in here for good measure, and this is Mr. Floppy's sister. And he used it, I guess, as an emoji maybe to say like, oh, okay. But it's still really creepy. Finally, recipient asks, what is your obsession with bathroom pics, bro? Yeah, you gave him up till the third time. I probably would have asked him after the first one. My sister sends them to me. Your sister sends you bathroom pictures. That is unsettling to say the least. So yes, indeed, while OP voices himself in this saga, there's obviously a lot more to unpack about OP. If I could redo the whole thing in the neckbeard voice, just two neckbeards rambling at each other, then I totally would. But time is short. I think I've done enough damage by front-loading this to the very start of the video. Now you can feel the disgust that I feel every time I have to look at this saga. I swear it's always like the quote-unquote wholesome ones. They come in trying to be like the best person in the room. This guy used to rant about bunnies all the time. Oh, he wants to protect the bunnies. He's the biggest predator that we've unveiled thus far, but don't worry. I'm sure there's more out there that we can happily pull the mask off of. Anyway, all that said, anything nice I say during the saga, just keep all that in mind, okay? And we'll go ahead and roll it. Why not? This is Flintlock-beard, or how a neckbeard almost ruined my love of muzzleloaders and almost got someone killed. Yes, let's take careful note here. It's a weapon, not a toy. Although it does sound like you're out there having fun with them, so maybe it is sort of a toy. Let's see how it goes. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well in this crazy time that we live in. Oh, I'm doing quite well, thank you. Mr. Floppy, Jack Bunny, whatever you want to be called. This will be part one of a saga that I don't know how many parts it'll have. But for now, we'll call this part one. Everybody got that? I mean, yeah, it's pretty simple. TLDR at the end. I think it's got 4 parts currently. Does it end at 4 parts? I think it ends at 4 parts, but they are long parts. So let's get into the recounting of the story of a neckbeard who almost ruined my love of muzzleloaders and almost got someone killed. I have to wonder if this episode's gonna have monetization issues, you know? YouTube don't seem to like guns content none too much. Warning, this saga does contain mild violence, a lot of cringe, and gropey and attempted rape. Well, this is just gonna be a treat, isn't it? Okay, let the pain flow. Let the hatred flow. Anyone who isn't okay with all of that stuff, as they say in The Wizard of Oz,
I'd turn back if I were you.
This all took place within a muzzleloader, rifle, and pistol club that I had joined for one, and only one, summer. And that's not because you stopped loving muzzleloaders, is it? You just met some weirdos, and if that's the case, yeah, I don't want to be in a club with weirdos either. Unless I'm the one that built the club. Gather around, ReddX Industries, let's have a hug. There we go. So, the cast list. There's me, OP, I was 20 when all this happened. I'm about to turn 35, so the exact details are a little fuzzy. Thanks, Father Time and the Devil's Lettuce. But like Back to the Future, 88 is the key number. meaning this is like 88% recovered from what I can remember. I was 6'4", 280 pounds, and I had just gotten down how to shave to where I had a beard, but not a neck beard. Dad didn't teach you how to shave or what? It's a failure on his part. My dad didn't teach me either. Had to learn in Navy boot camp. I just gotten out of high school the summer prior. I graduated late due to a major surgery I had that put me a semester behind, and my mom called it senior year, the sequel. Yeah, Electric Boogaloo. Why not? I had a girlfriend. She's a key part of this story. I was by no means the skinniest guy, but I kept myself relatively healthy. I mean, I saw 6'4", 280. I'm like, this is a big boy, but I ain't gonna rip on you too much. I've been bigger and smaller in my life. I know how it goes. Club President CP for short. I don't like that. I'm gonna call him Prez. He was a rather large fellow, but tall and imposing. Taller than you at 6'4"? Dude, misses calling in the NBA. But he had a Mr. Rogers-like heart. He would accept you for who you were, maybe to a fault, and to the detriment of the entire club in the case of this beard. He was in his late 40s, and he had a Father Christmas beard on him, and a voice that was so gentle, yet it was also able to come off as authoritative when needed. He was a fantastic shot with a flintlock rifle, one of the best in the club.
No, I want an official red carbonation 200 rifle.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Do you think that if Santa learned to shoot that he could whittle down the naughty list? Just by himself, that's what he does now. I got clipped from 1,000 yards out. Who's on the naughty list? Ah! Girlfriend. We're gonna change her name for this story and call her Naomi, which is nowhere close to her real name. 5'5", blondish brown hair, about 135 pounds with larger B-cup size boobs. We don't need to do that. Can we not do that? Just from me to you. It's a little unnecessary. Green eyes, very beautiful. 18 at the time. She liked video games, photography, art, and was actually a pretty talented artist. And she could sketch people almost lifelike. I'm at least somewhat impressed by that, yeah. I never thought that she would be beard bait, though. I mean, she's your girlfriend, dude. Are you not at least beard adjacent? I see what's going on here. I was deeply in love with her, and I thought at the time that she would be who I would marry. Ooh, boy, I dodged a bullet there. It's just puppy love, bro. She's integral to the story, as she was the victim of the groping, stalking, creeping, and the attempted assault, which I mentioned a bit earlier. Oh, poor Naomi, she didn't deserve all that. What the hell? Did this happen in the club? Full of people with guns? Because you could have stopped that in like half a second. He's like, come here, and you just go, pow-pow. And then it's okay. Everybody goes home, except you, who probably goes to jail. It's manslaughter. Yeah, he was a bad guy, but you did slaughter a man, okay? Finally, we'll get to our beard. We'll call him Flintlockbeard, or FB for short. This dude was 5'8" and pushing at least 320 pounds, and he was in his late 30s. Yeah, this is a big boy too, man. What the hell? They got like 3-4 people in this club, but it's always a full house. He fancied himself a superior marksman and gentleman, and he thought he was a Rhodes Scholar when it came to 18th century American history. He hardly ever bathed, probably for historical accuracy. He reeked of Doritos, dew, and black powder smoke. Think of how fireworks smell after they've gone off. I kind of like that smell. And of course, he also reeked of body odor. Oh, that's not as nice. He didn't wear a fedora. Instead, he always wore a coonskin cap. Oh, Jesus. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
I killed my pet raccoon.
Why, Davy?
So I could have this cool hat, and because it felt like heaven when I was doing it.
I would embarrass him into taking the hat off, I'm pretty sure. It looked like he had just picked up a piece of roadkill and put it on his head. Flintlockbeard was very full of himself, thought he was the best shot in the club, and could never accept when he was beaten in a match, especially by me. He fancied himself a supreme gentleman and thought we were still in 1776, even though he mostly didn't talk the way they did back then. Sometimes he did, and when he did, it was really cringy. He still thought a woman's place was in the kitchen making babies and being submissive to men. Well, you can believe what you believe, but first, become someone worth being submissive to. How about that? Anyway, let's get into the story. Remember that I'm trying to do this from my best recollection, and with that in mind, there will be time jumps and stuff that doesn't really tie together, but I'm not gonna make stuff up just to fill in those holes. I mean, most people do. You can. It's fine. So it was my first day at the club. Now, my uncle had been the one to introduce me into the world of muzzleloader shooting. And an interesting thing that, I love to shoot guns, but when you have to take 2 minutes to reload between every shot, I mean, it's a lot less fun, isn't it? But OP says, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And the people involved are mostly some of the nicest people that you'll ever meet. Mostly. Unfortunately, he couldn't join in with me as he had breathing issues, and still does, so any more smoke into his lungs and he's got to get out of there ASAP. Damn, that's rough. He had to give it all up just like that? Was it because he was smoking with cigarettes?
Man, I be smoking with cigarettes all the time.
I walked into the club with my membership dues in my pocket, $50 for the whole year, which paid for everything, including range time, which was good because we met once a week. My gear was in both hands, and my rifle, a .45 caliber flintlock rifle that I had built with my uncle over 2 years, was slung around my right shoulder. You can build your own guns? That's kind of cool. It's like 3D printing your own guns, except probably this one won't explode in your hands. I asked one of my guys where I could find the club president so I could introduce myself and get my dues paid. I was directed into the back office, and I knocked on the door and was welcomed in. Prez.
Hello there, I'm Prez. How can I help you?
OP.
Hey there, I'm OP. I'm the new guy. We talked through email, and I'm here to pay my yearly dues and get ready for my first shoot.
Prez.
Well, it's nice to meet you, OP. We're glad to have you. Welcome to the club. I hope you stay with us for a long while. As far as your dues go, you'll need to get to Flintlockbeard. He's our club treasurer. One word of advice, don't get on his bad side. He can come off as a bit standoffish and cocky, but he's my wife's brother, so I tolerate him, and I try to see the good in people.
OP.
Okay, well, thanks for the heads up. I'll see you on the range.
Prez.
Okay then, I'll see you in about 20.
With this, I headed down to Flintlockbeard's office. I'll tell you now, dear readers, I wish I could fully relay the smell that this office had. I opened the door and visually winced at the smell. I said, "Hi, I'm OP. You must be Flintlockbeard. I was told by the club president to see you about my dues and my membership card." Flintlockbeard.
Well, if it isn't fresh meat. Sorry. I gotta do that to all the newbies. I'm Flintlockbeard. I'm our club's treasurer, the best shot by far, and the club's leading historian on all things 18th century.
Wow, keeper of the deepest lore. Maybe you can find some time for a shower between all that, huh, big boy? But OP didn't say none of that. Instead, he says, OP.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You know, I'm pretty interested and knowledgeable about the 18th century as well, particularly American history and the Revolutionary War. It'd be pretty cool to discuss it with you sometime. I'm trying to be friendly and get through the smell.
Just slide the 50 under the door with a note attached to it. We don't have to interact anymore. Flintlockbeard.
I doubt you know as much as I do. I've studied that time period longer than you've been alive. Probably. How old are you anyway, young sir?
OP.
I'm 20.
Flintlockbeard. Yeah, I got you bested on all the stuff that you would need to know. Just automatically, based on the fact that you're older? Seems kind of ignorant, but okay. Anyway, you got your dues. It's $100. Or you can trade your wares with me.
Cajita's wares, if you have coin.
Oh my god, speaking of wares, let's get into the sponsor for today's video. Dayton Dies, yes, our very own creepypasta channel from ReddX Industries. Also, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX, yes, our very own vlog channel from ReddX Industries. You should check out one or both, and I'd appreciate it. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. OP says,
I was told, and it says so on your website, that it's $50. What's with the $100? And sorry, I don't have any wares to trade.
Flintlockbeard, raising his voice and starting to get blubbering upset. Those stupid imbeciles in IT, they can't do as they're told. They were instructed to update the website to have $100 be the fee. What the fuck? OP?
Look, it's okay. I only have 50 though, so can I bring in the rest next week?
Flintlockbeard, that is wholly unacceptable. I need the $100 now. Typical young bucks thinking they know everything. No $100, you don't get to join or get to shoot. Bro, you're really hard up for money, huh? You want that extra cheeseburger at McDonald's? All right, you fat tub of shit. Here it is. Another $50. Now, if we could never interact again, I would be more than grateful. See, I like to start out nice. Things could have been good between us, but you broke the social contract almost immediately, so the gloves are coming off. Now, at this point, the club president just happened to be walking by and obviously heard raised voices and stepped into Flintlockbeard's office. Prez,
What's going on in here?
OP,
Yeah, he was telling me that the membership fees are $100, but I was under the assumption that I was cut off by CP.
Prez,
Flintlockbeard! We talked about this! The fee stays at $50! Trying to overcharge a new guy double price is not good business, and it can lead to a bad reputation for us. I won't have it! No more of that! Now, we'll see you guys on the range in about 10 minutes.
what you need that $50 for, Flintlockbeard, huh? You're just gonna eat it. We both know you're just gonna fucking eat it. You're just as disgusting inside as you are outside. He left the office, and Flintlockbeard had a look of smugness that could rival Hillary Clinton. Oh, the devil! But he knew he had been caught. OP?
Dude, you tried to charge me double? What the hell, man?
Flintlockbeard. That stupid idiot. He needs to listen to me. I went to college for economics. Yeah, that seems to be paying off, doesn't it? OP says,
Look, here's your $50. I'm willing to let this slide. Just know from that now on, I'm not taking you at face value. I'll see you on the range. Good luck out there.
Flintlockbeard. Yeah, whatever. You haven't heard the last of me yet. The rules of this club are simple. Observe the rules of gun safety, and only family can come watch at meets and rendezvous events. Unless, of course, you have a milady. Yeah, he actually said milady. Oh no. Then it's okay. But she better not question anything we do. A female must know her place. Oh boy, actually give me my $50 back. I don't think I want to hang out with you guys anymore. Truth be told, a man must also know his place. Leader, protector, breadwinner, how about that? You don't seem capable of being any of those, Flintlockbeard. Running around begging people for $50. Gross. OP says that I wasn't even gonna dignify that with a response. With this, I was wondering what the hell I had just gotten myself involved in. Now, being 19, I was looked at by some of the guys, especially Flintlockbeard, as young, dumb, and full of cum. And while I could have that mindset at times, I tried my best to keep it in check. It's not your fault, OP. The frontal lobe ain't fully formed. It's fine. So we all got out on the range, and our club president introduced himself to any new members. There was myself and a couple other people, one guy and one girl. Oh, that poor woman. They don't come into play until later in the story, so we'll save their description for the second part of this saga. Prez then went into the rules of our club and a brief history of the club, its mission statement, and the rules of the range. Very important. Yes, we are out here to play, but also we're playing with literal weapons. So let's be safe out there. The range was then declared hot and clear. The first 10 minutes was used to sighting your rifles and get familiar with the targets we would be shooting. After a few shots, I was confident I'd found the right load. My rifle, as I said, was .45 caliber, so I loaded it with a .44 caliber lead round ball, a .015 inch thick pillow ticking patch lubed with bear grease prepared and given to me by my uncle, and 50 grains of 3F black powder. Do you have to count out the grains? Did your uncle kill that bear by hand? I don't understand anything that you're talking about right now, but I appreciate the attention to detail. That's what I'll say. The first event had then been initiated, and it was a 1v1 shooting at an 8-inch buffalo silhouette, simulated at what looked like about 50 yards, so a pretty good start to a day of shooting. And wouldn't you know it, I was matched up against Flintlockbeard. Now, this blob of existence had changed his attire from street clothes, which were dirty and had Cheeto stains on them, to, in his words, totally authentic 18th century mountain man attire. This dude thought he was a regular Daniel Boone, but he was more like Daniel Man Boob. Yeah, this is pretty funny. He thought he was Johnny Appleseed. He's more like Johnny Jerk Offaseed. That's not as good. Flintlockbeard, get ready to lose, OP. I'm gonna show you why I'm the best shot in this club. Yeah, best shot into a Kleenex. OP.
Good luck and may the best shooter win.
Flintlockbeard, yeah, me. Oh boy. Let's try to be humble right before our feast of crows, shall we? Flintlockbeard steps up to the firing line and aims his rifle. First shot was a miss, low and to the right. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm the best shot in the world, but I was pretty confident in my abilities. After all, I spent the last 2 years learning how to shoot with my uncle, and he taught me a lot, and I was grateful for it. So I stepped up to the firing line, sight down the 42-inch long swamp steel barrel of my rifle, put the set trigger on, steadied myself, let out a breath, and then fired. Chick, boom! When the smoke cleared, I saw that the target had fallen. I smiled and did a downward fist punch in celebration. Ooh, yeah! Suck it, bitch! That was the most elaborate that I got when celebrating. Honestly, you should have just been a total dick about it. Walked up to Flintlockbeard and be like, why did my target fall over? Your target didn't fall over. Why did mine do that? Oh, I shot it. Oh, that's crazy. Why didn't you do the same thing? I thought you're the best shot in the whole club. No, you're not? Well, why don't you take your sweaty man tits and get the hell out of here? There's a new king. Probably a little over the top, but he'd get the message. Flintlockbeard said, beginner's luck. It's not fair. The stupid wind kicked up on my shot. We were in an indoor range made specifically for filtering out black powder smoke. So unless he was talking about the vent wind, there was no wind. You just watch this next shot. You won't be in the lead for long. Bro, quit while you're ahead. You just got slapped in the mouth and you don't consider winding back the shit talking at least a little bit? Good, great, I say. Show us all your hubris! So Flintlock fired again and missed. Love to see it. But just in front of the target, and then the bullet ricocheted into the target, knocking it over, but it still counts as a miss, since the ball must hit the target while in flight. How do they even determine that? They're like, let's wind it back on the high-speed replay. Probably they do got a budget for this stuff. I can afford 5 whole minutes to count out 50 grains of black powder and refill my gun. I can probably also afford some high-speed cameras, right? Flintlockbeard rages. Oh, God damn it, stupid fucking rifle! My stupid little rugrat kid must have been messing with it and knocked the sights out of alignment. You let your kids play with your guns?
This is my rifle, this is my gun, this is for fighting, this is for fun.
It's a good way to clean up the gene pool, honestly. No, but seriously, I am super concerned for that kid, though. OP has an internal monologue at this point. No, good lord, this dude has a kid? God bless that child. He needs it. It became very clear that not only did this beard have delusions of grandeur about himself and his shooting abilities, but he was quick to blame everyone but himself for when he messed up. Yeah, there was lag on the trigger. Dude, we're in real life right now. The lag was just your finger being fat. What do you want? We finished up our match. I hit 4 times, much better than I thought I would at my first match, and Flintlockbeard hit twice. I went to shake his hand for a good match, and he swatted my hand away. Dude, I'm gonna fucking punch you in the mouth. So disrespectful. Flintlockbeard in a whiny tone. You cheated! It's not fair. You younger guys, you got better eyesight and a steadier nerve. This isn't over. I'll be back to duel in another match and defend my honor. Pack it in, son. You're done. Is this how we preserve our ego? What does it really take? Shake his goddamn hand, say GG, no re, and that's it. OP says,
Dude, calm down. We all have bad days of shooting. You had yours today, and I had a good one.
Flintlockbeard says, whatever. And with that, he stormed off to his office and, no doubt, began to pout. Bro, don't pout over this singular match. Pout over your entire existence, okay? After an hour had gone by, we all finished up and said our variations of
All right, see you next week.
to each other. I had finished 5th place out of 12 members, so I was pretty happy with myself. I didn't see Flintlockbeard anywhere, but his car was still in the parking lot. He finally emerged from his office, changed back into his street clothes, and stood outside the front door and began smoking a pipe, probably thinking that he looked so cool. I mean, there's nobody else really left there for him to impress. I think he's just got a nicotine addiction, bro. It happens. My girlfriend had shown up to pick me up as we were going to go out to dinner after the match. We hugged and kissed, and then she said, Naomi, who's that dude smoking the pipe with those gross clothes on? Doesn't matter, don't ask, get in the car. But OP says,
Oh, that's Flintlockbeard. He's a smelly little whiner and blamed the wind and the smoke for losing, as well as me cheating because I'm younger with better eyesight.
Naomi, he blamed the wind? Aren't you guys in an indoor range? OP says,
Yeah, that's the point. He lost and can't stand it.
Naomi, the only reason I ask is because he was staring at me really creepily when we were hugging. OP.
No, just ignore him. I'll deal with it next week. Anyway, I'm hungry. Let's head to dinner.
I mean, all I'm saying right now is maybe it's time to teach your lady how to shoot. What's that thing Annie Oakley said? I want all women to be as comfortable carrying guns as they are carrying babies. Keep yourself safe with a flick of a finger. It's like magic. Anyways, with all that, we did partake in soothing our growling stomachs with some tasty morsels and libations. Libations? We don't say that in real life, right? Because we can't rip on the guy for saying milady if we're saying libations. At least unironically. We went to Taco Bell because I hadn't been paid yet, and that's all we could afford on that day. You don't have to explain it, bro. It's Baja Blast. What do you want? Then we went back to her place and played Ghost Recon 2 on multiplayer on her GameCube. Doesn't hold a candle to 007 Nightfire, but I'll allow it. TLDR, Neckbeard, who thinks he's Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett reincarnated, blames cheating and the wind at an indoor shooting range because I beat a superior marksman and gentle sir. Then creepily stares at my girlfriend when we leave the range. I mean, when you boil it down into a TLDR like that, it doesn't seem like a lot happened, but I felt like I had a good ride. This felt like a full experience to me. We set up the pins for a little bit later. Oh, if only I'd known that those creepy stairs were the seeds planted to lead to the garden of near full disaster, then I would have done something right then and there. Hindsight's 2020, man. I'd like to say, yeah, I'd shoot him in the face for looking at my lady, but that's not the case. I seriously would have punched him for slapping my hand away, or at least slapped him. Slap my hand or slap your fat cheeks. If you punch him, then it's like sucker punch situation. That kind of sucks. Anyways, that's gonna do it for part 1 of this saga. I hope to get part 2 uploaded soon. Hope y'all enjoyed yourselves, and remember, keep your powder dry and your eyes on the target. Bye-bye. No, not bye-bye quite yet. We gotta do the plugs and the outro and all the stuff. I'm definitely excited to be into this saga. Not only is OP voicing his own lines, but like it's competently written. Like I said, it felt like I had a full experience. And although Flintlockbeard hasn't done anything yet to make me blow my top, I know he's going to. And I actually do know the final outcome of Flintlockbeard, so I will unveil that to you in the last part of this saga. But until then, you guys also enjoy the ride. My face when Americans call a Rudy Tooty point and shooty a gun. Hey there, dude, friend, fellows. Welcome back to ReddX. This is Flintlockbeard Part 2. The Smoke Thickens. And apparently we all became French. Hey everyone, I finally found some time to write, so I figured I would bring you Part 2 of the Flintlockbeard saga. For a refresher, this story happened about 15 years ago, so I'm trying my best to remember all that happened. If I can't remember for sure, it won't make it into this saga. So, who was Flintlockbeard? Well, he was a neckbeard. Pure and simple. As if we hadn't guessed. At the time of this story, he was in his late 30s, and he was insufferable, and he would prove to be dangerous. Let's recap the cast list and introduce a couple of new characters, shall we? There's me, OP, your humble narrator and a muzzleloader firearms enthusiast. It actually is a really fun activity and overall a cheaper way of enjoying the shooting sport / hobby. Remember, I was 20 at the time and now I've just turned 35. God, I feel old now. 6'4", 280 pounds, so I was a little chubby, but I kept myself as healthy as I could. When I wasn't at the shooting club or spending time with my girlfriend or other friends, I ran my own tree removal / firewood / lawn care service. Yep, you had to get that hustle on even back in 2008. Why is it hustle? That seems like a legitimate business. I tried my best to coexist with the beard of this story, at least so far as when I had the displeasure of actually dealing with him. There's, of course, Flintlockbeard, ye old beard in question. I honestly can't remember his name, so he'll remain Flintlockbeard, which is probably for the best. He is the subject of this saga, the study of beardery and cringe, our beard-tagonist, if you prefer. Interesting turn of phrase. Is he protagonist or antagonist? No, he's beard-tagonist, which could go either way. He was a fat and smelly crap pile of existence. He considered himself the superior gentleman and the best shot in the muzzleloader club that I was a part of. Spoiler alert, he was none of those things. He was creepy and cringy, and he blamed everything and everyone he could to explain away why he was a poor shot. He also had a knack for staring and stalking, and would insert himself into situations and conversations that he had no business being in. He thought we lived in the 18th century when it suited him, so he dressed like a historically authentic mountain man. Mountain Dew Man, more like it.
Ain't nothing like a good Mountain Dew. Yes, Lord.
He thought the only place a woman belonged was in the kitchen or in the bedroom, making him some little beardlets. It's a worrying composite of a human being. In the first story, he was a little two-faced, a little whiny, but not completely hateable, I guess. There was some heavy foreshadowing, though, so I'm worried for what's to come. There's also Naomi, OP's girlfriend at the time, not her real name. She was beautiful, and at the time, she was the one that I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with. Boy, did I dodge a bullet on that one. She ended up being an object of desire to Flintlockbeard and was almost the victim of his very creepy advances to the point of the attempted R word.
Oh no, we can't sign off on that.
Like the threat of the R word was hanging in the air, but I think this is the first time we said it out loud. So good. That's terrible. She's 5'5", 135 pounds, larger B-cup boobs, which we probably still don't have to describe.
Humongous hungalonga no no logongas.
Loved drawing and sketching people and anime, loved video games. She would be known as Beard Bait nowadays. Club president? Yeah, he's the club president of our muzzleloader club. He was a large but tall man on the middle-aged side, stern when he needed to be, but he had a very Mr. Rogers-esque view on people and the world, which was great, but was also a fault in this particular situation. He was probably the best shot in the group, and I learned a lot from him when it comes to competition shooting with muzzleloaders. Hank, not his real name, but he was one of the two new people beside myself that was briefly mentioned in the last episode. Won't go into too much description of him, other than that he was 6'2" and in his mid-20s. He was from Iowa, so he was one of them corn-fed country farm boys. He has a part to play in this, part due, and I'll explain that when it comes to it. Cheryl is not her real name, and she was the other newbie mentioned in part 1. She was on the shorter side, around 5'2", and a very sweet young lady, 23 at the time of this story. She was a very positive presence and always kept things fun. She was very laid back, but she didn't take no shit from Flintlockbeard, for the most part, who tried desperately to hit on her, despite being told no several times. One of those times will be discussed in this part. So, without further ado, as a wise man once said, buckle your seatbelts and let's get into this. I think that wise man was Aerith, author of the Guitar Beard saga, among many others. So after the first week that I had attended, which was very weird and cringe-filled thanks to Flintlockbeard, my girlfriend and I went out to dinner. In the drive back to her place from dinner, I told Naomi more about what happened at that first shoot, and she laughed and couldn't believe how much of a big baby Flintlockbeard was being. The next week had come up, and I drove myself to the club this time, as my girlfriend had to work. I got my stuff out of the back of the car and walked towards the door. As I was walking to the door that goes into the club and the range, I saw Flintlockbeard. Trying to be polite, I said, "Hello." He barely acknowledged me, but I know he saw me because he just said, "Pfft," and walked in right ahead of me.
Well, okay then. So much for that.
I said to myself. Now, my hands were full, and a normal, functioning human being would have held the door open for me, but this was Flintlockbeard. He was not a normal or functioning human being. So much for being a gentleman. I guess that stuff only applied to the ladies. Bro, you blow me off like that is gonna be pistols at dawn, okay? You can't just let some stuff slide like this. Now he thinks he's the big man on campus. Oh no, I gotta straighten you right out. I finally got into the club, even though it was a little difficult with the stuff in my hands, but yes, I did make it in. I saw Flintlockbeard at the vending machine, getting his favorite victuals, Cheetos, Doritos, honey buns, beef jerky, and Mountain Dew. I asked him in as nice a tone as possible why he didn't hold the door open for me, like the gentleman he professed to be. He was already dressed in his totally historically authentic mountain man attire, with a rancid-looking coonskin cap perched atop his empty head. I'm glad OP is addressing it straight up, though. Flintlockbeard says, you young bucks think you're entitled to having everyone do everything for you. You got in, didn't you? You gotta learn to do things for yourself, man. Yeah, you too, Flintlockbeard, like cooking. How many honey buns have you eaten this week? You think 50 grams of saturated fat sitting in your arteries is a good thing? Now, whatever, have at it, man. The quicker you're off this earth, the better, as far as I'm concerned. But OP instead says,
I don't think I'm entitled to anything. It would have been a nice gesture and helpful if you could have held the door open for me so I could get in without any trouble, as I had my hands full.
Flintlockbeard, whatever, dude. You should just do yourself a favor and stay out of my way. I don't want to have to teach you a lesson in being a real man or in manners of a proper gentleman. Stuff like this is why we need to bring back dueling. OP says,
Okay, you're blowing this way out of proportion, man.
Flintlockbeard, oh, am I? I suppose you think just because you barely won. Recap, I beat him by 2 hits last week. He hit his target twice out of 5. I hit mine 4 out of 5. Against me? You think I owe you something? I will defeat you and regain my honor. God, you're pathetic. Who talks like this? OP says,
Okay, if you say so. I'll see you out on the range. Good luck and good day, sir.
Now, at the time, in my younger, more naive mind, I felt that the best way to get along with people was to try your best to please everyone, and eventually they'll come around. Fuck that, man. I ain't no people pleaser. You don't like me? I don't like you either. How about that? Boy, am I glad I learned better as I got older. Some people just refuse to come around, and you gotta scrape them off and stand up for yourself while you do it. It's life advice. I still try to give people a modicum of respect until they prove that they don't deserve it. That's true. Remain cordial until they become the asshole, and then you just meet them at that. So with all that in mind, let's continue. I went to sit down at one of the tables, and Hank and Cheryl came and sat down with me. Since we were the new folks, we kind of bonded over that fact. Also, since they were a bit older than me, they had a little more real-world experience with which I could start to absorb when it came to dealing with people like Flintlockbeard. Hank, hey, how you doing? I don't think we've been properly introduced. I'm Hank, and I'm new to this club. OP.
Oh, hi Hank. I'm OP. I'm new to this club as well.
Cheryl. Hello, OP. We haven't been introduced either. I'm Cheryl. OP.
Hey there, Cheryl. I'm OP. It's nice to meet you both. You're the other newbie to this club as well?
Cheryl. Yeah, I am. My dad got me into this kind of shooting and encouraged me to join a club to meet some new people and have a new way to improve my skills. Hank. Yeah, my grandpa taught me how to shoot these kinds of guns, and I really enjoy it. Say, what got you into this type of stuff, OP? OP.
Oh, it was my uncle. He used to do historical reenacting and even go to some heritage shoots and even went to the National Muzzle Loading Rifle Association's HQ and range in Friendship, Indiana. He taught me everything I know about this type of shooting stuff, and he and I even built this rifle.
I showed them both my rifle. They thought it was pretty cool that I got to do that with my uncle, and they complimented how the rifle looked. Cheryl, hey, I noticed you were talking to Flintlockbeard, but didn't catch what it was about. What happened? OP.
Well, he considers himself to be the superior gentleman, and I asked why he wouldn't hold the door open for me, as he walked in right before me and I had both hands full with my gear.
Hank, maybe he didn't see you. OP.
No, he saw me. He saw me in the parking lot, and he saw me walking almost directly behind him.
Cheryl, that doesn't sound very much like a gentleman, and from the way he was talking to you, it sounds like he has a beef with you. What gives? That boy got a beef with everybody. He's got a gigantic chip on his shoulders. I wouldn't invest too much into that. He's dealing with his own demons. But OP says, I told them all about what happened last week, how he bragged before we even got started, and when we got out on the range, how he was gonna show me what a real marksman looks like. Yeah, fat, apparently. Really, really fat.
Get a life, you fat fuck!
And ugly and stupid, too. Is that what a real marksman looks like? Because that's what you look like. No, I'm just being mean. I told him how I ended up beating him and how he huffed and puffed off back to his office when I did so. Cheryl, Doesn't exactly sound like a good guy. When I had to go give him my dues for the club, he suggested that I could give you a discount if you would do me the great honor of going out on a date with me, my lady. I told him I wasn't interested, and then his demeanor changed for the worse. Is the club president really in charge of all this stuff? Can't we have a vote and just like have him removed? If not from the club entirely, then at least positions of authority. All in favor say aye. Motion carries. Hank asked Cheryl, wait, he actually said milady? What a creep. So after he said that, Flintlockbeard walked by, Cheeto stains on his shirt, and he let out a very loud belch as he walked past our table. The smell left behind was putrid, and the three of us had to get up and vacate to a gas attack bunker. Yeah, that's a bit of a crop dusting, isn't it? In this case, our bunker was the range. Flintlockbeard just let out a guttural beard laugh as we walked by him into the range. A couple minutes later, everyone started to file in. Flintlockbeard came in and wedged himself between Hank and Cheryl, trying no doubt to show how much of an alpha he was, as he stood up as straight as he could with his chest puffed out. Stay puffed, that is. Yeah, you got a couple little doughy marshmallows hanging off the front here. What's this, Flintlockbeard? A few too many rounds of Chubby Bunny, right? He was breathing heavily as the walk in from the tables area into the range must have worn him out. He was also wearing what he thought was authentic 18th century riding boots. In actuality, they were those high boots that women wear that have straps around them, and Cheryl pointed that out. Cheryl, nice boots, Flintlockbeard. Flintlockbeard, thank thee, m'lady. They're authentic 18th century riding boots. Only the most distinguished gentle sirs were permitted to wear them. He's just a weird guy. He just doesn't know how to interact with anybody. I would suggest to Cheryl to just not engage. Sure, it's a dunk, but then you're making conversation with him and he thinks that's okay. Cheryl holding back a snicker. Those are actually women's boots. Where did you get them and why are you wearing them? Flintlockbeard. They're not females' boots. You are mistaken, and I will not tolerate insults about my attire from the likes of you. I got these at an estate sale last year, and I was assured that they were authentic boots worn by American officers during the Revolution. You wouldn't know the difference. You aren't a scholar like I am. Oh yeah? What are your credentials? Oh, you read a bunch of Wikipedia articles, uh-huh. At this point, OP interrupts and says,
FB? Those are not riding boots. And they're certainly not from the 18th century. Those boots are made of felt and cheap leather straps.
Noticing an orange sticker price on the heel of his left boot, there's a price tag on him. Flintlockbeard starts growing angry. What? That's just the price tag at the sale. I paid $2,000 for him, and I even have a certificate of authenticity right here in my bag. You realize anybody can print a certificate, right? Cheryl, you carry the certificate around in your bag on the off chance you get asked about your boots? Flintlockbeard, of course. I have to make sure people know how authentic of a true gentleman I am. And, of course, show the damsels and wenches how much money I can sling. I hate to be the one to tell you this, Flintlockbeard, but there's no more damsels or wenches. They died out hundreds of years ago, okay? All we got left these days is e-girls and femcells. You take your pick. Cheryl says, I have those same boots, and I paid $40 for them. OP.
Those are not what you think they are, and I bet that certificate is fake. 18th century riding boots were worn by cavalry and other officers, and would have had a single strap and made out of real quality leather, and could have accepted spurs. Where are your spurs? And let's see that certificate.
Flintlockbeard became very mad at the both of us. He flummoxed and rustled through his possibles bag, a bag slung across your shoulder to hold your stuff for shooting and loading and cleaning. But yeah, he couldn't find that elusive certificate. Flintlockbeard.
Oh, well, this is a travesty. A rapscallion must have stuck in and taken my certificate.
Oh yes, do watch out for those rapscallions.
These boots are fucking authentic. I'm the historian here. You two don't know a damn thing about what you're trying to talk about.
Finally, the club president then spoke. Club president.
Okay, everyone, welcome again. Glad you're all here. So this week our shooting competition will be 2 versus 2, tournament style, single elimination. The highest scoring teams will face off in the finals. If your team loses, you're free to go home. Stick around and watch, or you can go down to lanes 13 and 14 and keep shooting until we're done. All right, here are the teams.
Oh, good old luck of the draw. He went through the teams. I was paired up with Hank. Cheryl, God help her, was paired up with Flintlockbeard. I could see the gears. Even though filled with gunk, they were beginning to turn in his half-functioning brain. His eyes lit up. His hamburger paw hands were starting to sweat. This was about to get weird. Poor Cheryl, just drop out. Be like, you know what? I'm good, actually. I don't want to play this week, you guys. So Hank and I were first paired up against a couple of other guys. We were on lanes 7 and 8. Cheryl and Flintlockbeard were paired up against the club president and another club officer, the safety officer. Since he doesn't have much to do with this part, he won't be mentioned any further. I was torn because I wanted to see Flintlockbeard get put in his place by our club president and his brother-in-law, but I also didn't want to see Cheryl lose, thus drawing the ire of Flintlockbeard because he had another person to blame, if indeed they lost. They were on the lanes next to us, 5 and 6. And the competition itself, well, it was quite a challenge. It was an upside-down triangle, which was white on a black background, and you had to hit as close to the bottom point of the triangle as you could without touching any of the black. Basically an aim small, miss small type of thing. The distance was 35 yards, and the final would be out to 50 yards. I could do this. Watch me do this. Give me 5 minutes to load my gun, and then watch me do this.
Peanut, what the hell are you doing?
Lois, I thought I heard a noise downstairs. Go stall him for 20 minutes and pray that it's not too damp in here.
Hank and I decided that I would go first, so I loaded up my rifle, stood in my stance, steadied myself, set my set trigger, breathed, and fired. When the smoke cleared, we brought the target in close enough to mark. I had just barely hit the black to the right. No score. I was upset. Hank, hey, don't worry about it. You get it next time. We still got 9 more chances. We each had 5 shots to score as many points as possible. This was the boost I needed, as when I compete at something and don't start out too well, I get inside my own head. A bullseye was worth 5 points, and each target had marks on it inside the triangle that were spaced an inch apart, each worth points. 5 inches from the bullseye, 1 point, 4 inches, 2 points, and so on and so forth. As Hank was loading, I saw Cheryl up on the firing line loading her rifle, and I could see Flintlockbeard standing almost over her shoulder. Even though we had ear protection on, I could still hear his voice over the shooting and the air vents. Flintlockbeard, you know, you look absolutely amazing while you load your rifle, milady. I'm sure you and I could show each other a few things. You're yelling loud enough for everybody to hear, you fucking savage. Cheryl says, I can't hear you over the noise. Flintlockbeard, I know you can hear me. I can hear you, and I know I could make you happy and teach you more than just shooting stuff. What the hell? Club president, are you scoping this out right now? He's chasing off your prospects. Everybody's just turning and looking the other way. Jesus. OP continues, yes, good old gaslighting, the flirtation tactic of the truest alpha males. Laugha males. Cheryl says, sorry, I still can't hear you. I need to shoot. Now, back up away from me. I couldn't help but laugh over this. If I had known what it was to be a neckbeard, I would have said something to our club president. And besides, it looked like at the time Cheryl could handle herself. Cheryl, by the way, had a beautiful rifle. A 40 caliber flintlock rifle with iron furniture, which means any of the metal parts, and a curly maple stock with a deer hunting scene engraved into the buttstock. I would later find out that she carved this scene herself. Woman of many talents. Too good for Flintlockbeard. So she fired, boom! And when she brought in her target, she scored a 4. A very good shot without having time to sight in our rifles. She was very happy and did a little bit of a jump celebration session. You know, that kind of thing that girls do. It was cute, and I said,
All right, good shot, Cheryl.
And she said, thanks though, P. Not bad, huh? At this point, Flintlockbeard's face turned sour. Oh, for the love of... What is wrong? You're gonna win the competition just because you're not the one that carried the team? Then get better, stupid. Flintlockbeard started to huff and pout. He knew that she had heard him but was ignoring him, and from then on he treated Cheryl like she didn't belong. But she always had a comeback for him, usually in the form of out-shooting him, but also by saying that she was a lesbian. She wasn't, but did that to try and deter him because he would occasionally try to hit on her. Until things got really mean-spirited, but we'll get to that part shortly. I mean, I gotta say I expect that. He's been mean-spirited the whole time. He's just got like this thin veil covering it because he thinks he might benefit from it in some way. But once Cheryl shuts him down, he's like, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Okay, but let's admit that you weren't actually nice this entire time. Anyway, Hank got a bullseye, and then I scored a 4 on my second shot. When I was waiting for my turn to go, I saw Flintlockbeard up at the firing line. He took a shot, and I knew right after he had fired that he was going to get a low score or no score because I saw him jerk the gun as he fired. He brought his target in to look at, this being his second shot, and he had missed 3 inches to the left in the black. Flintlockbeard, oh, what the fuck? This rifle can't shoot straight. We should have been given time to sight in our rifles. This isn't fair. This is an outrage. Look, it's just a friendly competition, a game. It's fine to lose, but stop acting like a goddamn loser. He continued to throw a tantrum by stomping his feet, and then he made the mistake of telling Cheryl, you better get a bullseye on this next shot, or you will be the cause of our downfall.
No, wait! No, I gotta take this off because my brain is gotta clear.
Interesting how that works, isn't it? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I thought I had slipped into some alternate reality, but then I remembered what happened last week. Cheryl, trying not to be deterred by this, told him to shut up. Then she stepped up on the line and took her shot. It must have gotten to her, though, because she got a 2. Flintlockbeard, of course, threw another tantrum. Flintlockbeard, at this point, shrieking through his blubber lips, you stupid bitch, you screwed us over! Even though they were still in it to win it. You imbecile! Why do I have to shoot with the newbies? It's throwing me off! I deserve the right to hold my status position and shoot with the best, which I know I am. Club president, seeing this happen, immediately came over. Hopefully he's gonna smack him in the mouth, but I know it's not gonna happen. Club president, in his stern, when needed voice, Flintlockbeard, that's enough! Either you shut up and shoot and stop treating our fellow members like trash, or I will kick you out of this club. Long overdue, honestly. Do it. Make it happen. Take him out back. He's my dog. I'll do it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Flintlockbeard. You can't talk to me like that. I'm the only one in this damn club that can keep the books balanced, and I'm your brother-in-law. And I'll tell my sister, your wife, that you were harassing me, and I know she'll believe me over you. I didn't see how this was possible, since club president was basically Mr. Rogers when he wasn't being stern when needed. Club president said, you stop this, or we will test that theory. Do it. Do it. Make it happen right now. Flintlockbeard did back off, but he still had a look of spite on his face, and intentionally missed the shot entirely on his remaining shots. Even though Cheryl got a bullseye and a 4 on her last 2 shots, it wasn't enough, and they were eliminated. After they were eliminated, Naomi had shown up. Since Hank and I had won our first match by 2 points, we still had to stay in the range. I was excited that she was there, but knew that since Flintlockbeard was eliminated, he was still in a pissed off mood, even though he was the one that caused them to lose. See, he feels better about losing if he just doesn't try, right? If he actually gave it his best and still lost, that would just crush his fragile little ego to bits. So Flintlockbeard would be free to go out into where the tables were. I should probably explain that there were bulletproof windows separating the range from where the tables were, so anyone could watch us shooting from safety. This would allow him to be out there with her, Flintlockbeard with Naomi. At this point, Hank says, "Hey, who's that out there that's putting a smile on your face?" OP.
That's my girlfriend. I thought she was at work, though. She must have got off early. She did.
Hank. Okay, well, we got a cheerleader now. Let's get this next round won. If we win, we're in the finals. Had I known that Flintlockbeard saw this situation as an opportunity to try and hit on my girlfriend, I would have tried to throw the match so I could be with her and get her the hell out of it. At the time, I didn't think that she would be in any danger, even though last week she told me that he had stared at her creepily, and I decided not to tell him not to do that. Like I said, I was naive and wanted to be a people pleaser and not ruffle any feathers and try and see the good in people. I mean, you could see the good in people and still call them on their bullshit, you know? As it turned out, we lost that second match by a single point. I gathered up my things, shook Hank's hand, shook the hand of our club president and range safety officer, as they were our competition that round, and I was blown away that we finished even that close to them. They both said, "Good match, see you all next week." I went out into the area where Naomi was and saw Flintlockbeard getting a little too close to her. Alright, this is where you put your foot down, right, OP? She had a look of distress and disgust on her face. I immediately rushed over. She hugged me tight and whispered in my ear, "We need to go." OP.
FB, what did you say to my girlfriend?
Flintlockbeard.
"Oh, that's your girlfriend? She's enchanting. Hey, I'm sure he doesn't treat you well enough. I would treat you like a goddess, milady."
Like, this is... how have you not punched him? You're driving me up a wall. I'm telling you, pistols at dawn is a great option right now. OP says...
You have no idea how I treat her, which is great, by the way. You need to stop this now, or I'll tell CP about this incident.
Flintlockbeard.
"You won't do anything. You're not an alpha gentleman like I am. I'll be the real man she needs. You're just a boy." "He's just a boy. You shouldn't have to see that. He's just a boy."
You need to think about good thoughts while you're still a boy.
I like when people say alpha in real life. It's just like the immediate largest red flag. I'm like, oh, I don't interact with you ever again. Naomi said, "You stay away from me. OP's a great boyfriend and a real man. I don't appreciate you hitting on me after I told you I have a boyfriend." At this point, my naive, be a people pleaser demeanor started its process of melting away, and from that point on, I would increasingly start to see this type of behavior for what it really was. I think you knew what it was the entire time, OP, you just weren't willing to fight him over it. Which I guess is fine, but I'm not gonna pretend that passivity is this inherently noble virtue. I'm not a huge fan of Jordan Peterson, but one thing he said that stuck with me is that being incapable of violence doesn't make you good. As far as I'm concerned, you've questioned my manhood. We've passed the line for where violence will happen. Win or lose, I'm gonna swing on you. Anyways, OP says...
You hit on my girlfriend even after she told you she had a boyfriend? Dude, not cool. You stay away from her.
Flintlockbeard trying to appear like the alpha he claimed to be, but actually looking more like a fat turd 99-cent store Daniel Boone.
Oh, you just wait. One way or another, I'll get what I want. I'll have my prize, and I will duel anyone who tries to stop me.
Are you in a state where dueling is legal? I would totally fucking duel him. Shoot him right in the gut. Be like, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, you know? We just left after this. This was just too wild and cringe for us. I mean, he warned you. This is the precipice. If you had slapped him in the mouth in this moment, it would have gone no further. He would have cried like a little bitch. It would have been all over. But sometimes we have to learn lessons the hardest way. We both knew that this guy was a creep and was way out of touch with reality, but we didn't know just how far he could go. It wouldn't take long for that to be revealed, however. I guess that's gonna do it for part 2. I hope you enjoyed yourselves reading this, and when I find time to write another, I'll bring you part 3. Y'all come back now, you hear? There's plenty of cringe left to be told, and part 3 gets even more cringe and heavy than this part did. Stay safe. Remember the 4 rules of gun safety. Keep your eyes on the target and happy shooting. And as Mindy from the Animaniacs said,
Okay, I love you, bye-bye.
I'm just amazed that so much stuff flew under the radar. We're just letting this and that slide. He's an unbalanced individual, quite clearly. I will resort to physical violence to protect the people that I love. If that's the only thing that you understand, so be it. But again, I don't think we're gonna get to take that easy road. Beard Spawn. Hey, you can't take my gun! Dad! I swear, when he shouted Dad, it sounded exactly like when Cartman shouts, Flintlockbeard Part 3. A beard spawn almost gets someone killed, and Flintlockbeard also goes full racist. He was like only part racist before. It seems like an on or off kind of switch. Maybe that's not true. Regardless, hello everyone out there at ReddX University. Wow, we got a university now? Tuition is probably egregious, and I haven't seen any of that money. Hope you're all well. Hope you had a safe St. Patrick's Day. I finally found some time to write, so without further ado, let's get into this storm of a story. St. Patrick's, man, I'm way behind. It's fine. It's fine. So this is the part where things start to get really heavy and really cringy. It's set about 3 weeks after the last part because I was on vacation with family. One last hurrah before I went off to college. Let's recap the cast and introduce a new character. You are going to college at ReddX University, right? I look forward to cashing the check. There's OP, that's OP. All my OG All That fans will get that reference.
That's me!
My favorite All That sketch was Pierre Escargot. Good times. I was 20 at the time, and I had joined a muzzleloader, rifle, and pistol club for one, and what turned out to be the only summer. 6'4", 280, built a little chubby, but strong. As I ran my own lawn care and firewood/tree removal service, gotta get that hustle back in the late 2000s. I still don't know what we're talking about there. So, I had a fair bit of muscle on me. I had learned my shooting skills mostly from my uncle, but had picked up a few new things via the people of the club that I was with. Naomi, not her real name, 18 years old at the time of this story, and she was my girlfriend at the time. She was the one that I thought I'd spend the rest of my life with, but later on, I would find out that I dodged a bullet in not marrying her. Beautiful, loved video games and art, and was a talented sketch artist, and would draw a lot of anime as well as her own creations. 5'5", about 135 pounds. Never thought she would be beard bait, but this was before neckbeards were widely known for what they truly are. She has a bigger role to play in this, and especially the next part. Club president, you know that guy. A larger, imposing-looking man, but had the heart and demeanor of Mr. Rogers, and a beard like Father Time. He could be authoritative when needed, but because the beard of this saga was his wife's brother, he didn't do as much as he should have to keep him on a short leash. He was probably the best shot in the club, despite what Flintlockbeard would tell you. I learned some good stuff about muzzleloader shooting that I still use to this day. Cheryl, not her real name. She was mentioned and had a small part in the previous part of this story. She too had a larger role in this next part. She was short and had a quick wit. A nice shot with a rifle, but her skills with a flintlock pistol are what really shined, and in this part I will expound upon that. She too was a target of the Beard's attempts at wooing the milady. She shot him down each time, and he didn't like that, so each time it happened, he'd treat her like shit. But he'd come back the next week like nothing had happened, and would try again. Her and I became friends through this experience, and remain friends to this day. 23 at the time, 5'2", with a nice figure, very down to earth. There's also the range safety officer. He didn't say much, but when he did, you listened. Well, most of us listened. Never our Beard. He was too knowledgeable in the ways of the gun to be told anything about safety. He was about 6 foot tall, like 210, built like a brick shithouse, as the description goes. He was in his early 40s, didn't answer to anyone but the club president. He was God when it came to the safety of the shooting range. God, this cast list is getting a little long, isn't it? I could have inferred what the range safety officer does. Flintlockbeard, the bitch titular star of the story. Hey, I like that a little. He was in his late 30s, but you would swear that he had the mentality and maturity of a 15-year-old who'd just been called out on his BS for the first time ever. He was a big fat dude, about 350 pounds. I know he started this saga out at like 320, but he definitely got bigger, and by what he ate and his lack of exercise, that doesn't really surprise me. So yes, 350 pounds on a 5'8" to 5'10" frame. It's a big boy. He thought he was the best shot in the club. Spoiler alert, he wasn't even close. Fancied himself a superior intellect on all things 18th century, the ways of a gentleman, and could outshoot anyone that he was matched up against. He also smelled like a combination of black powder smoke, stale Doritos and Cheetos, ass crack BO, and rancid beef. Where did rancid beef come from? Still thought that we lived in the 18th century. He loved junk food and Mountain Dew, which didn't exist in the 18th century. He also thought that he wore historically authentic mountain man attire, but it looked horrible. He didn't wear a fedora, however. No, he topped his sweaty, smelly head with a coonskin cap that looked more like the victim of roadkill. Probably it was. He also reveals in this part just how incredibly racist and how much of a conspiracy theorist he was. He thought he was Davy Crockett in shooting skill and Daniel Boone in his attire. Davy Beergut and Daniel Manboob was more like it. I'm curious about the conspiracy theories. I buy into quite a few myself, so I gotta see if we're on the same boat there. Lastly, a new character, Beard Spawn, or BS for short. Yes, my friends, I'm sorry to say that this Beard has a kid. And oh boy, what a specimen to behold. He was basically just a smaller and younger version of his dad. He was 9 and already as fat as Cartman. He learned his bad habits from none other than his dad, and no surprise, thought the same way as Flintlockbeard. He is the secondary antagonist of this story. You gonna let yourself get antagonized by a 9-year-old? Can't happen that way, bro. We need to set that kid straight. And he is a kid, so I can't even hate him that much. He was set up for failure. Anyway, long-ass cast list out of the way. Now that the cast list is explained once again, let's get into the story. Like I said in the first 2 parts, this happened 15 years ago. If I can't remember for certain what happened, it doesn't appear in this story. So this is like 88% of a complete saga, as the other 12% has been lost to the sands of time. So if things seem to jump around a little bit, that's why. 88%. Are we dog whistling right now? You know, 74% of statistics are made up on the spot. So, like I said, this took place 3 weeks after the events of part number 2. We had now moved to the outdoor range at our complex, allowing for more long-range shooting. I'd just gotten back up from a 3-week vacation with my family, and I was glad to be back home and eager to catch up with my girlfriend and get to some shooting, even if that meant having to interact with the Beard. Yeah, welcome back to the girlfriend, you know, way better than shooting into a napkin. Oh, you mean the muzzleloader, okay. Yeah, I get you. I showed up at the range and was told that we were now starting to use the outdoor range by club president. I thought,
Great. Longer range. 150 to 250 yards. Shooting. I can really test myself.
those ranges seemed short compared to what modern firearms are capable of, but remember, these are weapons using tech that's like 200 to 300 years old, with black powder being around 1,000 years old, so they can only do so much. Sounds like it's time to upgrade. Sell all them muskets, buy yourself a nice AK-47. It's fun too. I sat down at one of the tables inside the main clubhouse and indoor range. Just then, who should walk up but Flintlockbeard himself? I could smell him before I saw him, but I hoped against hope that I was just imagining things. He must have forgotten that not but 3 weeks earlier, I told him off for trying to hit on my girlfriend because he walked up to me like nothing had happened. So he's trying to renew the social contract, remind him of what happened. I don't want to speak to you anymore, and this is why. But I understand it's harder to do that when you're young. Flintlockbeard, hey, OP, where you been? You missed out on some epic shows of my amazing shooting skills. I even gave a class on the history of America during the Revolutionary War period to the group. And now everyone wants to dress and behave accordingly to what I taught. Yeah, none of that actually happened. I mean, it's good to have dreams. OP says,
yeah, that's great. I was not interested in this, coming from him. So, did you forget what happened like 3 weeks ago? I basically told you to stay away from me and my girlfriend. I'm not interested in interacting with you more than is necessary.
Now, I had done a lot of thinking on that vacation. I thought about how if I didn't make some changes, I was going to be pushed around and taken advantage of by my generally laid-back, win-'em-over-with-kindness approach to pleasing people. Kindness never works. Only power. That is what people understand. I'll extend to you some common courtesy, but kindness? Nah, that ain't for me. That's reserved for family only. OP says, well, I figured that this would be the perfect time to try out my new approach. Don't let people who have treated me like shit push me around. Better late than never. Flintlockbeard, well, you should take what I say as facts. I know a lot more than you do, and I've been in this club for longer than you have. I have more pull around here than you think, and it can be made extremely difficult for you to remain here should you piss me off. If you are wise, then you will not bring about my wrath down on your head. Dude, you're the one doing all the pulling in the bathroom, am I right? Bringing all the wrath down on your own head with your swollen glands. OP says,
oh, is that a fact now?
Flintlockbeard, most assuredly it is. As factual as we kick the asses of the British in our fight for independence. Oh, that's a deep cut. Not a lot of people know about that part of history. What a loser. I didn't say anything to this, and I just chose to walk away. That first try didn't go the way that I thought it would. Yeah, but that's when it's time to double down. Let them know that you're seriously serious for reals. Had it not been for the fact that I had a feeling that as much as our club president wanted him gone, it would have been more of a headache on his part, since Flintlockbeard was his brother-in-law, then I definitely would have been more assertive, so that was my main gripe with club president. Other than that, he was a good dude. At least I thought so at the time, but we'll get into that a bit later. You know what they say, OP, birds of a feather. Flintlockbeard had left to go somewhere. I didn't really care where, as long as he was out of my hair. I picked my gear up and started to make my way outside. I had also brought my flintlock pistol with me this week, since we would also be shooting pistols. A rifle barrel 45 caliber flintlock pistol with both a front and rear sight. It's an accurate gun, even for being a pistol, and I still have it. It was at this time that Cheryl had come up to me, and I decided to sit back down. She sat down as well. Cheryl, excited and relieved to see me. Hey, OP, where have you been? We missed you around here. It was nice to have you and Hank be a buffer between Flintlockbeard and myself. Yeah, what happened to Hank? You went to sell some propane and propane accessories?
I provide the people of this community with propane and propane accessories.
OP says,
Oh, yeah. I was on vacation with my family. I went on a tour of Civil War battlefields and some Revolutionary War battlefields as well. If you haven't caught on by now, I'm a student of history. How have things been here?
Cheryl, they've been okay. Okay, but very weird and kind of creepy. Flintlockbeard keeps trying to hit on me, saying stuff like, I can make you the happiest maiden in all of the colonies. Yes, he said that. What? Does this work? He has reproduced. I have to assume it has worked at least once. Do recall that Flintlockbeard believed that we were in the 18th century from time to time, and also thought that a woman belonged in the home, cooking and producing little beardlets for him. And I will give you children to bear, and we will grow to be the happiest and most prosperous couple in all the land. Yep, he's a weird dude. You should shoot him through the stomach, just accidentally on purpose, you know? OP says,
Wait, what? He actually said those things? Does he not know that we live in the 21st century? There's something really off about that dude. He just threatened me to basically stay in line and out of my way. That should be easy enough. All I'd have to do is walk briskly and he would lose the trail after a couple of minutes.
Cheryl, snort laughing. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. Anyway, I'm glad you're back. Hank isn't here this week. He got called away for work and had to travel out of state, and he won't be back for a few weeks. Please don't leave me alone with Flintlockbeard. He creeps me out. I feel like my ability to tell him off is becoming weaker. OP says,
I will try my best. I thought you were able to handle yourself. You've got a sharp wit, and last time I saw you, you seemed to tell him off for good. But I guess things have gotten serious? Don't worry. I won't leave you alone with him if I can help it.
Cheryl, thanks, OP. So, I don't know if you heard or not, but we're not only doing the outdoor range, but we're also doing pistols this week. So, it should be fun. You want to see my pistol? Now, at the time, I was a huge Family Guy fan, especially that of Quagmire. I said in my head, giggity, but my mouth said, yeah, sure, whip it out. Couldn't help myself. I was 20. What do you want from me? Are you angling on this girl while you have a girlfriend? I mean, I understand being 20, but I also understand having, like, some sense of scruples. I'm gonna need you to reel that back in, OP. Thank you so much. I was really surprised by her pistol. It was beautiful. A .62 caliber flintlock pistol styled after something you'd see in Pennsylvania right around the time of the Revolution. It even had a gold inlay on the barrel with her real name on it, which made it even more sentimental to her, as her grandfather had done it for her right before he died. It was then that who else should come back over to us and ruin the mood and the oxygen supply around us with his BO stank? Why, it was none other than his most esteemed grossness himself, Flintlockbeard. Can't you just box him out? Like, don't worry about his empty threats. If you want to make this club awkward for me, I could make it even more awkward for you. Flintlockbeard did have someone in tow with him, a smaller version of himself, dressed just as badly and gross as he was, and we were confused as to where this kid had come from. Cheryl's body language had changed to stiff and apprehensive. Flintlockbeard, hey, OP, greetings, m'lady. Allow me to introduce my son, Beard Spawn. I'm training him in the ways of being a young gentle, sir. He will soon surpass all of you in skill with the rifle as well, by the rate I'm teaching him. Poor little bastard, never stood a chance. Beard Spawn bowing like a true 18th century gentleman and then getting stuck on coming back up because this pudgy little cream puff didn't have a core. What the fuck is that? You can't even lift the top half of your body up? Nah, I don't buy it. Who is possibly that weak?
Hello to you, sir, and m'lady.
Oh god, He really is a beard spawn.
My name is Beard Spawn. Might I have the pleasure of your names?
Honestly, coming from a 9-year-old kid, you love to see sir and ma'am. Everything else about him, pretty unfortunate, but at least he seems to have good manners within the first sentence. Not wanting to be rude, we both introduced ourselves. Beard Spawn.
Father tells me you're new to our club. Well, I want you both to know that I'm a prodigy in this shooting world, thanks to him. I'm already on course to be better than anyone else here. Except for Father, of course.
Bro, I know you came from there, but take your dad's balls out of your mouth for just a minute. Look around at the world for what it really is. Honestly, he's 9 years old. Daddy is still a Superman for at least another 2 or 3 years, and then the veneer starts to crack, and Beardspawn realizes what his father actually is, starts to make some hard decisions for himself. At least that's how I like to think that it goes. Cheryl and I just looked at each other in disbelief at what we were witnessing. Flintlockbeard.
You see? A trip off the old block. You may go now, my son. Get ready for today's competition, which I know you will win.
Like I said, set up for failure. Cheryl. I thought only those over 18 were allowed to compete in this club. Flintlockbeard.
Oh, my delicate flower.
Ew.
My son is not just any child. He will soon take over this club with me. He needs to be groomed in the ways of a proper gentleman and a superior marksman. I'm confident that he'll beat both of you out there today. Just you wait.
You're weird and stupid and ugly, and so's your kid. Get the fuck out of my face. You might be surprised to learn that I don't base all of my validation on how good I can shoot a defunct old weapon. Is this all you have in your life, Flintlockbeard? It is, isn't it? God, that's sad. You're pathetic. You're pathetic, and nothing that you do will ever change that. I'm sorry to say. Actually, I'm not sorry to say. But instead of all that, OP says,
not to rag on your kid, but I think you're doing him a disservice. This is supposed to be a fun and supportive group of shooters who enjoy this kind of stuff. He just comes off like a spoiled little child who is too big for his britches.
Flintlockbeard.
You mind your tongue, OP. He will show all of you just what a true, once-in-a-generation talent looks like. He knows how great he is, and he's right to let all of you know it.
You should probably just let him know with his actions instead of his words. You know he's just gonna go out there and embarrass himself, right? Foot, meet, mouth. Then, out of seemingly nowhere, Flintlockbeard changed the subject. Flintlockbeard.
So anyways, you guys see this Obama dude? He said he was gonna take all our guns away if he gets the chance, in the name of safety. That monkey better watch out if he gets elected.
Oh god, dude. Can we say that?
I'm sorry.
He didn't really just say what I think he said.
I'm not even gonna touch this one with a 10-foot pole. OP.
Oh my good god, dude. What the hell is wrong with you? I doubt very seriously he will get anywhere close to that. And also, why the hell are you bringing racial slurs into this? Not cool, man.
Is it a racial slur? Clerks 2 told me it wasn't. Cheryl says, yeah man, what the hell? Even if he does get elected, it doesn't mean he'll come for our guns. Why don't you take that racist crap elsewhere? Like, back to your stink nest. At this point, Flintlockbeard gets flustered and says,
Meh, screw both of you. You young bucks don't know anything. You'll probably end up voting for that boo.
Jesus Christ, dude. Well, demonetization, here it comes.
And when he gets in, he's coming for all of our guns, even the ones we possess here today. It's all part of the Democrat satanic plot to destroy this country and enslave us.
You think that's just a Democrat plot? I'm pretty sure both sides are working in tandem. But whatever makes you feel safer, I suppose. And again, I refuse to turn this into a racial thing. It is the haves versus the have-nots. Now, this was back in 2008. Obama had just come onto the scene, seemingly out of nowhere, and nobody found that like the least bit sus. They're like, this guy's been shoved down our throat. Sure, we'll vote for him. I fell into it too. At least the first time around. I didn't vote for that fucker the second time around. I voted for Ron Paul in 2012. And I learned that that's all a lie too. Now I don't participate. Now, I didn't like Obama either, but as a rule, I don't like pretty much any politician. I don't trust them at all. Good way to go through life, honestly. For context, I am a conservative. I believe in small government and the need to do away with wasteful spending and bureaucracy. I also believe that both parties suck, are in on it together, and making sure that they can get away with everything, and that government sooner or later will screw up everything that they get their hands on. As far as my dislike for Obama goes, I also don't like adults who act like petty spoiled children when they get told no by anyone, which he and pretty much everyone in politics acts like. Oh, you know Obama personally? That's cool. This episode is getting rather incendiary for no reason. I guess Flintlockbeard's the one that brought it up, but I don't mean to go into my own personal politics at all. I'm apolitical, and guess what? I don't even want to talk about it. We all know it's stupid. Moving on. For the rest of the day, Cheryl and I stayed as far away as possible from Flintlockbeard. We stuck together, essentially. We all gathered outside of the first bay of the outdoor shooting range. It was at this time that club president and range safety officer gathered us all around together. There were only 8 of us there that day. Club president,
everyone, welcome once again. As you can see, we're finally outside. This will open us up to both the pistol range and long-range targets. For today, we will split into 2 groups for 2 different competitions, and everyone will get an opportunity to go through both.
Range safety officer in his booming voice.
All right, everyone. Things are different out here on the outdoor range. We gotta make sure that we're extra careful, as this will require people to go out to the targets. So, making sure your guns are empty is vital. When I say range is cold, all guns will be placed on the table in front of you. I'll come by and inspect each one to make sure that they're indeed empty. You then go out to your target and mark your hits.
Club president,
thank you, safety officer. Here are the competition and the rules. First, for the long-range shooting, we will be doing the Timothy Murphy challenge, which I'll explain in a minute. You have 3 shots to hit in the kill zone, a man-sized silhouette target, all the way out at 250 yards. Not going to lie, this will be testing your skills to the limit. If you don't score a hit in 3 shots, you will be eliminated from the long-range challenge. The other pistol challenge, you'll be shooting an 8-inch square at 7, 10, and 15 yards. You'll be judged on how close to the bullseye you get and rewarded points accordingly. The shooter with the most points wins. Everyone understand?
Everyone? Yes, sir. So, what's the Timothy Murphy challenge? It's a challenge based on the real Revolutionary War marksman Timothy Murphy, one of Daniel Morgan's riflemen in the famed Morgan's Rifles Company. The story goes that it took him 3 shots to bring down a high-ranking British officer from a staggering 250 yards away. Quite the feat at the time. The 3rd shot found its mark, killing the officer, and turned the tide of the battle in favor of the Continental Army. Damn, I don't know anything about this. Big ups, Tim Murphy. Hey, thanks for doing that thing you did. Anyway, back to the story. Cheryl and I decided that we would go do the pistols first. Fortunately, Flintlockbeard was doing the long-range shooting, a brief but welcome reprieve. But we always knew when he messed up because we would hear him shouting and cussing and, of course, blaming everyone and everything but himself for his screw-up. He tried to blame the wind, but the wind was barely blowing, 3 miles per hour, if that. One of the colorful things we heard. Flintlockbeard,
God damn it! This competition's stupid. I bet Timothy Murphy's a liar and a braggart who talked up his legend, and this never even fucking happened.
Basically, yeah, saying that Timothy Murphy was a stupid Chad, which he totally was, but not in the bad way like he means it. We couldn't help but laugh at this, and through a twisted turn of fate, it amped both of us up to shoot even better. Cheryl hit all of her shots pretty close to the bullseye and got better at the longer ranges, but I held my own too, and she did better than I did in the end. When she got done, I congratulated her and said, Beard spawns up next. Let's see how much his big talk and bragging shows in his shooting. Beard Spawn stepped up to the line. He took a while with his shooting stance, just like his dad. His eyes were squinted because his face was so fat. It was honestly a wonder that this kid got around at all without bumping into anything. Bro, I feel bad making fun of the 9-year-old. Could we, not? Would that be okay? Yeah, he's kind of an asshole, but look who raised him. Now, I'm starting to get nervous, as is Cheryl, because he looks like and behaves as if he had never held a pistol before. Yeah, maybe it's time to go back inside. He finally settled, pulled the trigger, and all that happened was a puff of smoke from the pan. Possible hang fire. Now, this is something that you just accept when you get into shooting flintlocks. Our ancestors came to deal with it, so can we. Or, we can go buy an AK-47. Instinctively, both Cheryl and I shout, "Hang fire! Cold range!" Now, when this happens, you're supposed to keep the gun pointed down range for at least 5 seconds, then slowly put the gun on the table, and wait another 10, and then either reprime and try again, or have the range safety officer come and help. Well, that's normally what's supposed to happen. He's gonna swing around, point a hot barrel towards a crowd of people. However, if we've learned anything about beards, nothing is normal with them, as well as in this case, their spawn. This little butterball beard in training, still holding on to the gun, turned around, facing towards all of us who were waiting. Yeah, he broke blue. I'm not even surprised by this, honestly. It was at that moment that the gun went off. Jesus! All of that happened within a matter of seconds. It ended up hitting one of our other shooters in the shoulder, very close to an artery. He hit the ground, and I went over to him and called out for someone to dial 911. Cheryl, meanwhile, went over to Beard Spawn and snatched the pistol out of his hand, to which he responded, Beard Spawn, "Hey, you can't take my gun! Dad!" I swear, when he shouted Dad, it sounded exactly like when Cartman shouts, So is he not concerned that he shot a person? Is he not sorry about any of that? Maybe he is worse than I thought. All right, he's only 9. He can't go against the wall, but we can't put the boots to him. After quickly assessing the nature of his wound, I remembered something very important. I then ran to my car, which I had moved to behind the shooting line at the outdoor range to make loading up to go home that much easier. I grabbed my first aid trauma kit. It's always good to have one of these in your car. And I started administering first aid as best I could. The wound was grisly. I don't know if any of you know what a soft lead ball does when it enters the human body, but I can tell you right now, it's not pretty. Yeah, that's not something I'd volunteer to experience at any point ever. I did my best to at least slow the bleeding. Range safety officer, who also had a first aid trauma training because he was a medic in the Marine Corps, took over for me while I went to go clean up. Range safety officer,
What the hell happened?
Flintlockbeard, having waddled his fat, disgusting ass over to protect his son, and also completely out of breath.
Yeah, what the hell happened?
Victim, your stupid kid shot me. What the hell have you been teaching him? Flintlockbeard,
Hey, you watch your mouth. I don't want to have to defend my son's or my family's honor. You wouldn't like that.
Victim, fuck your family honor, and fuck your stupid kid! He's got some harsh words. He's just been shot. I think he's entitled to say the harsh words. I definitely sort of regret going to bat for the kid. I mean, you're 9 years old, that gets you a lot of leeway, but you still know that it's not good to shoot people, right? That was about all Cheryl could take. And she had told range safety officer and club president, who was on the phone with 911, what had happened. By the way, Cheryl lost all of her cool and was yelling and sobbing at this point. Obviously, she had never seen anything like this. I don't think anyone besides range safety officer had ever seen anything like this. Yeah, war's hell. Except we're not in a war. I didn't think this was how I was going to spend my weekend. Cheryl said, your son had a hang fire and didn't keep his gun pointed down range. He turned around and the gun went off and now here we are.
Flintlockbeard. My son didn't do this on purpose. You must have distracted him somehow. Where were you, range safety officer? You should have been there to watch my son. Yeah, it's the lifeguard's fault that your child drowned, right? It had nothing to do with your complete lack of instruction and or supervision. You're just a failure, not only as a father, but as a human being. Range safety officer.
I was at the same range you were at, you damn lard-ass dipshit.
I should probably mention that range safety officer also could not stand Flintlockbeard.
But it's little Sylvester Stallone. You're lucky the ball didn't cut an artery, or you'll be in more trouble than you know what to do with.
I mean, yes, it's an accident, but also you slaughtered a man. It's manslaughter! Surely we could still press some sort of civil or criminal charges, right? I bet victim will, too. The paramedics arrived and they took victim off to the hospital. It was at this time that my girlfriend had shown up, as her, myself, and Cheryl were all going out bowling afterwards. She told me earlier in the day that she'd show up, but she wasn't sure what time she was going to arrive. I had just gotten back from cleaning up. By the way, all of what was said and happened between when I left to clean up and get back was relayed to me verbatim by Cheryl later in the day. All of us who weren't Flintlockbeard, Beardspawn, and Club President were talking to each other as a group. Beardspawn, being Club President's nephew, was being talked to by him. Flintlockbeard was just standing there with the stupidest shit-faced look on himself. I'd started talking to Cheryl individually, away from the group, who had buried herself into my chest, tears and snot coming down her face. This incident had really gotten to her. Was she related to victim in some way? I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. It shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. Losing your shit about it doesn't really help undo what's already been done.
Women.
Naomi, in a confused voice. Hey, babe, what just happened? OP.
So, we had an incident. Flintlockbeard's kid accidentally shot one of our guys.
Naomi. Oh my god! How did that happen? I told her what happened, and the ball had really done a number on his shoulder, but thankfully missed the artery. Naomi. Well, that's a relief. Cheryl then said she was going to go clean herself up and compose herself. She went back into the main clubhouse. I thought, by herself. Little did I know that Flintlockbeard had followed her in there. I hope she brought her gun with her. Shoot him in the gut for real. Leave him to die in the bathroom. About 5 minutes goes by when Cheryl comes out with a furious look on her face, grabbed her gear, and demanded that we all leave. We didn't end up going bowling. Instead, we went back to her apartment where she told us what had happened. Cheryl, that fat, disgusting slob Flintlockbeard tried to comfort me. He tried to hug me and grope me. At first, I couldn't get out of it, but luckily I managed to free myself by kneeing him in the balls. I'm surprised they even dangle with how fucking fat he is. He just shouted at me through pain. You damn whore! Who are you to deny me my rightful conquest? Why can't you see I'm the only one who can provide for and protect you? Rightful conquest? This is some manifest destiny type of stuff? I don't know what's going on here. Naomi said, oh my god, Cheryl, you need to call the police and report him. Good idea. Who knows what could have happened had you not managed to free yourself? OP says,
I am so sorry that happened to you, and Naomi is right. You gotta report him.
Cheryl, no, I just want to forget about it. That's the worst possible option. Naomi, but Cheryl, I said no. I just want to forget about it. I don't want him coming down on me more than he's already tried. Naomi, if not the police, could you at least report to the club president? Cheryl, that weak old fool? He won't do anything. One of the things that Flintlockbeard told me while you were on vacation, OP, is that he saw a club president cheating on his wife and threatened to expose him if he did anything to threaten his chances of taking over the club. Oh, the plot thickens. Naomi, is there anything we can do? OP, don't you have a friend who has a dad that's a judge? OP says,
I do, but he's under threat of being disbarred from being a judge because of inappropriate behavior with witnesses. We have to go the long way on this one.
Is everybody in this story guilty of inappropriate behavior?
What is it about this swirling hellhole of a town that y'all live in? I was hoping to find some decent characters, somebody I could hang my hat on. Just not gonna happen. Not today, I guess. Cheryl, now visibly shaking, says, I told you guys to drop it. Nothing's gonna get done, so why fight it? Naomi and I just looked at each other, defeated. We didn't know what else we could do. We didn't want to go behind Cheryl's back, but we couldn't let this slide. We decided that we'd have to take care of this ourselves without involving Cheryl. Vigilante justice by a lead pipe. Put it to his face, vigilante justice. Cheryl, I just can't stand that racist piece of shit. He was spouting off the same crap that he was spewing off to you earlier today to me while you were on vacation. Naomi, wait, what happened? Cheryl and I explained, and Naomi was disgusted. I mean, I might be disgusted, but not exactly surprised, you know? It seems like in every reenactment group, you know what, never mind. Not gonna go there. Naomi, Cheryl, and I ordered a pizza and put on some Family Guy. When Naomi and I left Cheryl's apartment, we agreed that this had to stop. For the safety of all involved, and over the next few weeks, we would plot and scheme. Doesn't even really take any plotting and scheme. Go hit him up with the Louisville Slugger. Tell him he's gonna drink through a straw for the rest of his goddamn life. Before we left, I apologized to Cheryl for leaving her alone while Flintlockbeard was still around. She forgave me, and we agreed to make sure to stick closer together. I was really surprised that she wanted to stay in the club. She loved it, despite Flintlockbeard and his son. I couldn't believe that I wanted to stay too, but now I was invested in trying to take Flintlockbeard down. So, now all we have to do is see just how dangerous this beard is, and how much of a danger his kid was as well. Anyways, that's gonna do it for part 3. I hope you've enjoyed yourself so far. I know some of this seems far-fetched, but this world has some dangerous beards in it. Just look at Wheezy Beard or Chris Trucker. You never know just how dangerous a beard can be until you incur his wrath. Be sure to keep your seatbelts buckled, as in part 4 comes desperation, lawsuits, attempted rape, and thankfully the downfall of Flintlockbeard. But believe me, it was a dangerous road to get there. So until then, ReddX gang, happy and safe shooting. Keep your powder dry, your eyes on the target and what's behind it. And as Mindy from the Animaniacs famously said,
Okay, I love you, bye-bye.
One more part to go. I can only hope that it involves some physical violence, you know? Lawsuits are fine and all, but nothing says business like a shattered kneecap.
I know your bosoms will provide the freshest and strongest milk to our children.
Kill me.
Tea or coffee?
Tea. Thank you.
Milk?
No, thank you.
Flintlockbeard, Part 4, the final Flintlockening, I think, and OP has since confirmed. It's posted on my account since he was having some trouble, and I'm happy to help out where I can. Hello everyone out there in ReddX land. I finally found some time to write. I've been at home all week taking care of the missus while she recovers from hip surgery. She's sleeping at the moment, so I have some time to write. Let's get into this thing. To recap, the story you are reading took place back in the summer of 2008 and is set in a muzzleloader rifle and pistol club that I was part of for one and only one summer. It turned out to be one of the worst summers of my life, and the beard in question almost destroyed my love of muzzleloaders, something that I'm still very passionate about even to this day. I'm trying to remember as much as I can, but it's still only about 88% of the story. The rest has been lost to the sands of time, and some heavy drinking, and a little bit of drugs the following year. Yeah, I guess that's fine. We all make choices. If I didn't remember it, it's probably not that important anyways. So let's recap the cast list. There's me, that's OP, Cheryl, Club President, Range Safety Officer, and Naomi. Our descriptions are all in the first 3 parts, so go read those, because I ain't doing your homework for you. I'm glad you didn't paste it back in there. I wasn't going to read it the 4th time anyways. There's also Hank. Yes, Hank does make his glorious return. He was gone for a few weeks for work, but now he's back. He becomes even more of an ally in this part. His description is way back in part 1. There's also Victim. He's a new character that was mentioned at the end of last part, but he has a much larger part this time around. He was half Filipino, half Japanese, but spoke with only a slight Asian accent. He was in his early 50s, about 5'11", and for his age, he took pretty good care of himself. He's a Vietnam vet, US Army, as his family moved to America when he was 17, and figured enlisting in the military of his new country would make the transition a whole lot easier. He's very proud of his heritage and his military service. He was a great guy. Favored percussion lock rifles. Flintlockbeard had something dumb to say about that. And due to Flintlockbeard being a racist piece of crap, and the fact that Beardspawn almost killed him, he had it out for Flintlockbeard and all of the club officers in general. And he definitely has a case. He's got the bullet hole to prove it.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance!
We're gonna burn this whole club to the ground. Also, I don't think Asian accent is a thing. Filipino, maybe, Japanese, maybe, but just generically Asian, I don't know what to do with that. I'm not even gonna try. Finally, the master of 18th century cringe, Flintlockbeard, FB for short, one of the most disgusting in all facets type of human being that I've ever had the displeasure of interacting with. The cringe star of this story. He was in his late 30s, but you would swear he had the mentality and maturity of a 15-year-old who had just been called out on his BS for the first time ever. He was a big fat dude, about 350 pounds. I know he started the saga out at 320, but he definitely got bigger. And by what he ate and his lack of exercise, well, that didn't surprise me. That 350 was on like a 5'8" to 5'10" frame, and he thought he was the best shot in the club. Not even close. He fancied himself a superior intellect on all things 18th century, the ways of a gentleman, and he could outshoot anyone he's matched up against. He also smelled like a combination of black powder smoke, think rotten eggs, also stale Doritos and Cheetos, a little bit of ass crack, a dash of BO, and also some rancid beef. Still thought we lived in the 18th century. He loved junk food, Mountain Dew, and now a new addition, black tea, that he would load up with about 12 of those pink sugar substitute packets. He bragged about the fact that he wore historically authentic mountain man attire, but it looked terrible. He didn't wear a fedora, however. No, he topped his sweaty, smelly head with a coonskin cap that looked more like the victim of roadkill. He gets even more dangerous and insufferable in this part. I don't think black tea's that good for you. I don't think the pink sugar substitutes are that good for you. Slightly better than Mountain Dew and Cheetos, though, I guess. Okay, so remember the attempted rape that was mentioned in the beginning? Well, it makes its appearance in this part. If this is something that you're not able to stomach, consider this your "I'd turn back if I were you" warning. So, with all that said, buckle up them seatbelts and let's get into it. So, this part of the saga takes place a few weeks after the events of part 3. Hank had just come back from his extended work trip, and we were glad to have him back in the mix, especially Cheryl and myself. Hank, "Hey, you guys, how's it going? Sorry I was away for so long. My work trip lasted longer than we initially thought it would. What'd I miss?" Cheryl, "Oh, God, Hank. I'm really glad that you're back. Things here have just been, well, a total shit show. First and foremost, Victim was shot in the shoulder by Flintlockbeard's butterball spawn." Hank, "Oh my God, what happened?" OP,
Yeah, kid had a hang fire on his flintlock pistol, didn't follow gun safety rules, and turned around and the gun went off and hit Victim in the shoulder. We got him stabilized, and then the paramedics came and took Victim to the hospital.
Cheryl, "It was pretty gruesome. We haven't seen Victim since it happened. I just hope he's okay. Nobody's like sending him a card, just ship some flowers to the hospital or something? We could do a little more than just hope, you know." Hank says, "Wow, that's pretty heavy. Why wasn't Flintlockbeard a range safety officer there watching him? Isn't that club policy or something?" OP,
They were both on the long-range shooting part of the outdoor range. Oh yeah, by the way, that part is opened up now and we've been doing stuff out there on that range.
Cheryl, "It was just myself, the Victim, OP, and Beardspawn on the pistols range. OP and I had just finished, and we were watching when it all went downhill. OP came in really clutch. He had a first aid kit in his car." Hank, "That's pretty cool, OP, and that's a smart play keeping one in your car." OP.
Yeah, man, it was pretty scary. RSO really came through. He was a medic in the Marines, so he knew vastly more than I do. I just managed to keep pressure on his wound. RSO was the one who stopped the bleeding. The ball barely missed his artery. He was really lucky in that sense.
Yes, unlucky to get shot, but lucky to not be dead over it. We all kept talking about the past few weeks. Cheryl told Hank about what happened between her and Flintlockbeard, and I filled him in on what was coming up. Our rendezvous shoot. This was a chance for all the black powder muzzleloader clubs in our state to get together and network, discuss and shoot and compete and even trade gear. It was a week-long thing, and I was really looking forward to it, as this would also be the first camping trip by ourselves that Naomi and I would get to go on. Oh no, out there in the middle of the woods? This is not gonna go well. Hank, I'm real sorry that happened to you, Cheryl. I wish I'd been there. Are you okay? Cheryl, yeah, I'm okay. I can't stand being around Flintlockbeard, but I really like this club regardless. OP and I agreed to stick closer together since that happened. He's basically been my shadow for the last 3 weeks. OP?
Things have really gotten worse with Flintlockbeard. He's gotten even more desperate in his attempts to do, well, whatever it is that he does to try and win both Naomi and Cheryl over.
As if on cue, who else should come up behind us but Flintlockbeard? And he smelled even worse than ever. I swear, I don't think this guy bathed but once a month, and even then, there wasn't enough lava soap and SOS pads to scrub off whatever the hell it is that he had on him. Yeah, this caked on pretty good, huh? You gotta put some elbow grease in it. Flintlockbeard, in a sad attempt at a gentlemanly bow. Good day, my fellow shooting enthusiasts. How are you all doing this fine summer's day? Ew, cringe, go away. We all just ignored him. Flintlockbeard said, Hey, I'm talking to you. Have you no respect for your elders? You fucking young bucks think you're hot shit. I bet you don't even have the guts to face me at the rendezvous that's coming up next week. I will win and regain my honor for the little mishap between Victim and my son. Dude, nobody's keeping track of your honor but you. That went out the window a long time ago. Before any of us could say anything, and seemingly out of nowhere, Victim walked up. I swear, this dude was part ninja because he did this all the time. Sometimes it was weird, sometimes it was funny because he would use it to scare Flintlockbeard. I guess you could say that these two had some history, as Victim had been a member for 2 years, and I was surprised that Flintlockbeard didn't try to have him kicked out of the club, even though I'm sure that he did try. Oh, okay, what? So he just didn't succeed. Victim, hey OP, Cheryl, Hank. I bet y'all didn't expect to see me again so soon. Cheryl, oh my god, no, we didn't. I'm so happy to see you. Cheryl started to tear up and went over to hug Victim. Yeah, she was a little smartass with a quick wit at times, but deep down, she had a very soft spot.
Alright.
There's an easy joke there, but we're not gonna do it. Low-hanging fruit. Victim, hey OP, I just wanted to say, thanks for helping out. That was some quick thinking. OP?
I'm sure you would have done the same for me, man. Hey, how are you feeling anyway? I can only imagine what that must have been like for you.
Hank? Yeah, man, I missed it, but OP and Cheryl filled me in on what happened. I'm glad you didn't die. Victim? Well, the Charlies and Nom couldn't kill me. A little pissant boasting kid with a flintlock pistol sure as shit ain't gonna get me either. Well, he is a tough sort of fellow, isn't he? Flintlockbeard is now enraged and blubbering. Hey, you watch your tongue and mind your words, sir. No one disrespects my son like that. If you have something to say, you say it to me and apologize, or I will demand satisfaction. I'm pretty sure he just said it in front of you. You want me to say it slower? Your child is a pissant. He is a failure because you are a failure. Nobody here respects you. You should quit and go home right now. I'm serious, do it. Oh my god, this beard really can't get it through his fat head that we lived in 2008, not 1708. Victim, you're lucky I didn't die. Because of your poor teaching and not paying attention to your fucking kid, I might lose my arm if everything doesn't heal properly. Flintlockbeard.
Then why are you even here? You're not here to compete, obviously. So what are you doing here?
Victim. I came by to tell you that I will be pressing charges on you and the club for negligence and allowing a child to handle a firearm unsupervised, which led to a life-altering injury, breaking your club's safety policy, and, in general, pain and suffering. Well, you reap what you sow. It's time to take him to task. Sure, accidents do happen, but somebody's gotta pay. Flintlockbeard.
You don't have a case. What happened was an accident, and you can't prove that we weren't there watching over my son. And you also can't prove that it was my teaching that led to what happened.
Bro, we got witnesses. And what'd I just say about accidents? OP says...
Actually, FB, he has a pretty decent case. With all things considered, this isn't going to end well for you. I'm also pretty sure the rest of us who were there are willing to testify against you.
Flintlockbeard.
Yeah, what do you know? Are you a lawyer or something? No, I didn't think so. So why don't you shut up and mind your own business? And if you try to testify, I will make you all regret it.
Oh, good. Now we're threatening witnesses. This is gonna play great in court.
What would prompt you to do something so stupid, sir?
Cheryl. Oh my God, Flintlockbeard. How insufferable can you be? You know what happened isn't gonna look good on you, and I know what you truly are. Flintlockbeard.
You need to mind your own business and remember your place, milady. You have no business meddling in the affairs of men.
Or supposed men. Technically men, I guess, in the eyes of the law. Hank says, you shut your mouth, Flintlockbeard, or I'll shut it for you. Flintlockbeard.
You'll be brought up on charges of your own, should you make that grave mistake. I warned you all early on. Don't mess with me. You won't like the outcome.
Bro, I will bury you. Just because you're the brother of the club president's wife, you can't blackmail all of us, bro. It's the end of the road. Victim says, listen, you fat fuck. You are gonna get the living shit sued out of you. Flintlockbeard.
Oh, and what are you gonna do about it? Yeah, I know you're in Vietnam, but you're probably a spy for those rice patty fucks. You being here is a disgrace to real Americans like me.
Oh, are you Navajo, perhaps? What are you talking about? Clearly this was getting out of hand way too fast. If there's one thing you don't joke about around Victim, it was his military service and his Asian heritage. Victim, I'm half Japanese and half Filipino, you disgusting shit stain of a subhuman. Had it not been for the fact that club president walked up at this point, I believe wholeheartedly that Victim would have ripped Flintlockbeard a brand new asshole. Club president,
what's going on here?
Cheryl, Flintlockbeard just being a gigantic racist butthole as usual. Flintlockbeard,
you shut up, wench. It's bad enough you won't be my true love, but now you have to insult me?
Oh, come on. That is some contrived dialogue. Then again, Flintlockbeard's a contrived human being, so I don't know. Hank says, it's a good thing club president's here, or you'd be finished, Flintlockbeard. OP says,
you best choose your next words very carefully, FB. If I were you, I'd drop it and apologize to everyone. Sincerely, I had finally shed my win them over with kindness skin when it came to dealing with Flintlockbeard. I was out for blood, but I had to wait to strike.
That's right, we're looking for decisive victory. Club president,
Flintlockbeard, I need to see you in my office now. The rest of you, go see range safety officer about getting ready to compete today. Get your forms filled out for next week's rendezvous.
Victim, oh, I'm not here to shoot or sign up, club president. I'm here to let you and Flintlockbeard know that I'll be filing charges against him and the club. Also, I'm leaving the club. You'll be hearing from my attorney. And with that, Victim left. Just a mic drop moment. Club president had a stunned look on his face, and then he walked off to his office with his beard in smelly tow. So we all went to the indoor range as it was raining pretty hard outside. Range safety officer,
What was that all about?
Cheryl, Flintlockbeard's just a real piece of shit. He was saying how victims shouldn't be suing him or the club for what happened. Hank, and being an insanely racist ass. OP,
Why haven't you guys gotten rid of Flintlockbeard?
range safety officer,
Unfortunately, that's not my call. Club president makes those decisions. Anyway, that's something that needs to be handled later. I need you to fill out these forms for the rendezvous. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's name, phone number, emergency contact, how many people you'll be bringing, if you're gonna do tent or camper-style camping, and how many days or nights you'll be doing. Is victim gonna be there?
Hank, I don't think you need to worry about victims signing up for anything. He just quit the club. And if I were all of you, I'd lawyer up. So we all got signed up. We shot for the day. Nothing exciting, just basically an open shoot day to get ready for the rendezvous. We, and by we, I mean Hank, Cheryl, and myself, all went back to Cheryl's apartment, and I texted Naomi to meet us there. When we all got there, we started cleaning our guns and equipment. A very smelly process, but compared to Flintlockbeard, the smell was like a field of tulips. Cheryl, I would gladly take this smell any day of the week over the smell that Flintlockbeard puts off. Hank, yeah, I second that. Naomi, all in favor? All of us?
Aye.
OP,
Something really needs to be done about FB. With all that's happened, we can't let him get away with any of this.
He can't keep getting away with it!
He won't. Naomi, well, there's something we can do between now and the rendezvous. Does anyone maybe have any experience with intel gathering, staking out, or anything like digging up dirt on someone? Hank, I mean, I guess we could find out where he lives, tail him, try to gather information about the comings and goings that way. OP,
Maybe there's something in the files at the club? Some kind of questionable business dealings or not keeping the books balanced?
yeah, I'm almost positive that this guy's embezzling at least a little bit. Cheryl, no, that's not gonna bring him down hard enough. OP, Naomi, I've been doing some thinking about what you said after what Flintlockbeard did to me. OP,
Oh, and what did your thinking lead to?
Cheryl, I know he's a bad man, and I'm gonna have an experience now. I'm gonna go to the police and report him for what he did. It's good to get the paper trail started. I mean, not a lot of evidence to go on. It's not gonna get him locked up or anything, but it will be put on file. So it's a start. Naomi says, that's really brave of you, Cheryl. He creeps me the hell out. He needs to be brought down a few pegs and back into this century. Hank, you want me to go with you, Cheryl? Like, when you go to report him? Cheryl, I want all of you to come with me. I'd feel much better about it that way. Naomi, hey, so I didn't want to bring this up, but since we're committed now to taking Flintlockbeard down, there's something I need to share with you and OP. And OP, you have to promise that you won't get mad at me. OP?
Okay, I promise. What is it that you want to share?
I can't promise that I won't get mad before you told me the thing. There's a scene like that in Pulp Fiction, isn't there? Naomi says, well, I don't know how, but Flintlockbeard got a hold of my phone number. I'm guessing he got it from your records, OP. OP?
That son of a bitch! What the hell has he been doing?
Naomi, he's been texting me and calling me. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to upset you. I also wanted to gather up enough on him to help take him down when we finally do go to the police with all of this. Cheryl and Hank both asked what kind of stuff he'd been texting her. He sent a lot of lewd text messages, and this is back in the days before unlimited texting was widely available, and you had to pay like 10 cents a message or 50 cents for multimedia messages. Yeah, there were a few of those too. Oh no. I'm pretty sure he's not just sharing memes.
Do not send me your dick pics, okay?
I think it's a little bit sus that a woman wouldn't tell me that immediately. Naomi then showed us all the messages, like 150 in total, and 27 missed calls with 18 voicemails. All of this costed a pretty penny, so he was persistent and committed, as all beards are wont to be. It was stalking and harassment at this point. He He said things like,
"Oh, my sweet, if only you could see that boy you are with is nothing and can't provide for you, and be with me. I know I can make you the happiest fair maiden in all the colonies."
Yeah, he still used that 18th century mindset. Did we just take a picture? And I said, yep, this one's going in my cringe collection. It would have made at least a little bit of sense if we lived in a state that used to be one of the 13 colonies, but like, we didn't. Maybe some people find it endearing. I find it pretty intolerable. Then the messages grew more and more sinister and gross. He would say things like,
"Why can't you just accept my proposal? You're young and fertile and have the most amazing birthing hips. I know your bosoms will provide the freshest and strongest milk to our children."
Kill me.
Tea or coffee?
Tea. Thank you.
Milk?
No, thank you.
Just let's not talk about any of these things until much later on, okay? Probably never. We could go with never. One voicemail I remember very clearly because of how off-putting it was directed at me.
"You know, Naomi, there's nothing really separating us. OP is a meek child who can be easily erased from the equation, and then you and I can begin our glorious marriage."
This dude really is completely delusional, isn't he? I don't think OP's lady has showed him even the slightest interest, and he's already jumping straight to marriage. She then showed us his nudes. Oh, God. That image will be forever etched into my brain, and no amount of therapy will be able to erase it. You know those mushrooms that appear after rainstorms? The brown and red ones with the white buds on them? That's what his junk looked like, in both color and size, with the caption,
"All this could be yours."
Okay, cool. Where's the rest of it? What is this? Cheryl, I think I'm gonna barf. Hank, that's really fucked up. Naomi, I'm so sorry, OP. I should have told you sooner. OP? Cheryl? OP, are you okay? Hank, yo, Earth to OP. You okay there, bud? I saw red. I know that's a cliche, but it does happen. I wasn't mad at Naomi. I was livid at Flintlockbeard. This fat tub of disgusting dog shit troglodyte was going down. I didn't care how it had to be done. We were all in it now, and there was no turning back. We were gonna bring down Flintlockbeard once and for all. We all agreed that we would wait until after the rendezvous. We wanted to have some fun and see if we could get even more on Flintlockbeard than what we already had. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. I don't think the club even needs to exist in order for you to show up to the rendezvous, does it? Burn it all to the ground and then you can have even more fun. It's like a week-long celebration of your victory. But whatever, you do it your way. The next day came and I got an email. It wasn't from a name that I recognized, but it had the subject line, "Flintlockbeard is going down." I opened it and it was from Victim. He basically said that he was not only bringing charges against Flintlockbeard and the club, but he also offered his help in any way he could since he knew that we wanted to bring Flintlockbeard down just as much as he did. Victim in the email, "I just wanted to let you know, Cheryl and Hank know that Flintlockbeard is going down one way or the other. I would have kept it to just suing the club, but now, after what Flintlockbeard said, I just want that fat bastard gone. Let me know if you're interested." I replied,
I definitely want to bring him down, and after new things that were brought to light, we all want him put down once and for all. I will keep you in the loop. We're waiting until after the rendezvous to get things rolling.
Another couple days went by and I got another email from Victim.
"Okay, sounds good. That racist tub of pig shit's gonna pay for all he's done."
Sounds like just desserts to me. Later that day while hanging out with Naomi and Cheryl,
we were playing video games. Can't remember which ones, but they were on Cheryl's GameCube.
Bro, tell me you were playing Custom Robo. That shit's lit.
And we were on MySpace. God, I feel old now.
I was on my laptop. my very first one, which was a present to me from my grandparents to get me ready for college, and I got an email. This was from another email I didn't recognize, and it looked official. It was from a lawyer's office. OP.
Hey, you guys? I just got an email from a lawyer's office.
Naomi, what would a lawyer want with you? Cheryl, you didn't do anything, did you, OP? OP.
Unless it was when I was asleep and started sleepwalking? No.
Hey, that's a good excuse, OP. It tucks your alibi right into the excuse. When I read it, I just started rolling my eyes. It was a cease and desist letter from who else but Flintlockbeard's attorney, saying that I was harassing and being threatening and menacing to him. Cheryl, oh, for fuck's sake. Who does he think he is? If anything, he should be the one getting a cease and desist letter. Naomi, so much for him defending his honor. This makes him look like a desperate, scared little wuss. OP.
It's bullshit. If this is the game he wants to play, then so be it.
Cheryl, are we still gonna go through with our plan? OP.
Now more than ever.
About an hour goes by and I get another email. This time it was from Flintlockbeard himself. What do you want to bet he also wrote the attorney email? He doesn't have an attorney, come on. He could barely afford soap. Flintlockbeard in the email.
Checkmate, OP. There's nothing you can do now. And if you try anything, you will reap what you sow. I told you don't mess with me. I'm more connected than you think. My family honor will be avenged for the slights that were viciously levied against it by you, Cheryl, Hank, and Victim. By the way, Naomi will be mine, one way or the other.
Wow, what a terrifyingly ominous thing to say. Let's save that for the police report. I saved the emails, there you go. And I also forwarded them to Victim and to Hank. A few more days went by, and it was the week of the rendezvous. We got our campsite set up. Hank, Naomi, Cheryl, and myself decided it would be best if we all shared one campsite. So we got a huge 8-person tent. All of our rifles and pistols were set up on a stand that Hank had bought from a guy at the rendezvous when we got there. All of our other gear, including bullet, powder, patches, cleaning tools, solvents, were all kept in a large waterproof and spark-proof tote. We even put up a sign that Naomi had designed that said, "This campsite belongs to Team Newbies." We got a campfire going and we all sat around it. You need to add at the bottom, Neckbeards keep oot. Hank, so how are we gonna play this? With all that cease and desist bullshit, I'm not sure we'll be able to get anywhere near him when we're not competing. OP.
Oh, we are going to have to play this smart and subtle. We must lure this beast in before we spring our traps.
Hank, what traps? Yeah, what traps? We didn't talk about no traps. Cheryl, we are gonna have to do something horrific. We're gonna have to be overly nice to him. So we be overly nice, and then he lowers his guard. He lowers his guard, and he'll definitely slip up and do something even more reprehensible than him just, existing. Naomi, I really hope this works. I know I'm not gonna be competing, but I don't want to be left alone, so I'm gonna be with you guys for as much as I can. OP.
Don't worry, sweetie. We won't leave you alone if we can help it. But just be safe. Here, take this.
I handed Naomi one of my patch knives, and I told her to keep it with her at all times, just in case. Yeah, a little bit of protection goes a long way. Well advised, I would say. Then we all went to our first competition, long-range shooting. Basically, we were going to be doing the Timothy Murphy challenge. If you don't remember what that is, go back, listen to part 3 if you want. Since we didn't get a chance to do it when we were back at our club range, and we didn't get a chance between then and now, we were all looking forward to it. We all got on our name tags and put them on our chests and went up to one of the range safety officers to get our shooting order. I was drawn to go first, Naomi 4th, Hank 6th. Unfortunately, there was another name called out. Flintlockbeard. He would be going 3rd. We didn't even see him initially, maybe because he wasn't wearing his usual attire. No, this time he was wearing something even worse. He was dressed in a very bad interpretation of a Native American from the 18th century New England area, mixed with a frontiersman. It was horrible. The deer skins had holes in them, the ugly coonskin cap he wore actually had the fur falling out of it, and his shirts and moccasins, or shoes, were damp and had stains on them. He came up to us. Flintlockbeard, so I see you all decided to come. I thought you would have learned your lesson and stayed away. Check out my attire. I found out I'm part Mohawk Indian. No wonder I'm such an amazing shot. And an alpha warrior. Cool story, bro. Nobody asked. Can you fuck off from here? I'd really appreciate it. OP just says,
Hello, FB. How are you? You know, there are a lot of people here. Looks like this is going to be a very fun event.
Cheryl, forcing words. Yeah, Flintlockbeard. I can't wait to compete and see what everyone can do here. I'm looking forward to shopping for some stuff. Flintlockbeard. Typical woman. Always focusing on shopping. You might want to save your money. If Obama gets into office, you won't have any money left. How does that work? They just kick down your door, drain your savings account? What the hell are you talking about? I'd rather always be focusing on shopping than always focusing on a heritage that doesn't exist. He just clings on to anything to make him feel different and special. But you're not special, Flintlockbeard. You're about as boring as it gets. And unfortunately, everybody's agreed to be nice to him, so he's not gonna get the truth bomb that he so desperately deserves. But I'll hand it to him. Hank says, oh, come on, Flintlockbeard. That's not a very nice thing to say. How about we focus on competing and let the best competitors win? And yeah, nice get up. Flintlockbeard. Yeah, I suppose we could do that. We all know who will win. Me, of course. This isn't a get-up. I'm honoring my warrior ancestors. Yeah, okay. Again, nobody asked. His breath was almost unbearable. He smelled like his usual self. Black powder smoke, Doritos and Cheetos, rancid beef, and BO. And his breath was kind of just like an extension of that. Flintlockbeard then focused his attention on Naomi. Flintlockbeard, oh my, the heavens have surely blessed us all with your beauty this fine day. He bows, but struggles to get back up. I bid you good day, m'lady. Come to watch me give a good thrashing on all these pretenders, did you? Naomi, I came here to watch all of you compete. I will root for all of you. Flintlockbeard became puzzled. He got a response that wasn't outright rejection. His eyes lit up. At least, I think they lit up. Maybe it was the glaze of a donut left over from earlier. Flintlockbeard, I must say, this is a welcome change. You finally recognize my greatness and superiority. Maybe you might be able to actually learn something from me. Doesn't mean you'll beat me, but that's a given. Honestly, should have stuck with disdain. That seemed to be working. The lawsuit will take him down low enough. I don't feel the need to hang around him to try and do any more damage, because the only damage is going to get done is to my own mental health. OP just says,
well, it's time for us all to get ready. Looks like I'm up first. Good luck, FB.
Flintlockbeard, I don't need luck. I'm all skill. As for the cease and desist letter, make sure you abide by it, or else my native warrior spirit will also propel me to victory. Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. My skin started crawling. We were all in the den with the beast at this point. I tried my best to not let it get to me, but I had my doubts as to if this plan was even going to work. We were waiting for something to happen, but we didn't know what or even the severity of that thing, which we could then hypothetically use to bring Flintlockbeard down and maybe even get him locked up. I mean, he is a horrible degenerate. It won't be long before he does something. But is the length of time that he can restrain himself longer than the length of time that I can stand to be around him? It's a battle of wills, I say. I stepped up to the firing line, started my shooting process, breathing low and slow, set my trigger, looked out at the wind. It was blowing left to right at 100 yards, right to left at 200 yards, and then there was basically no wind at 250 yards. I made a quick adjustment in my head, set my aiming point, exhaled, and fired. I actually hit the target, and it registered with a distinct ping. Oh, we got the machine that goes ping? Wait, wrong thing. I think that's a joke. I don't get it. Back to reality. I couldn't believe it. I don't think I could have done that again if I wanted to. That was it for me. I got a score of 10. First shot hit was 10 points. If you had to take a second shot to hit it, that would be 5 points. If you had to take a third shot, 2 points. If you missed all 3 shots, there was no score, and you were automatically eliminated from that competition until the following day. Flintlockbeard.
Beginner's luck. I'm not sure how you did it, but there's no way you can repeat it. Watch me hit it in one shot too, but mine will be because of my shooting prowess, not dumb luck.
Bro, have you not learned the lesson to talk all this smack after you do it? You talk such a big game and then you just shove your stupid foot in your mouth. Hank says, "Hey man, he did a good job. That's a real hard shot to make. If you think you can make it too, then show us how it's done when your turn's up." Cheryl, "Yeah, Flintlockbeard, you've been in this shooting sport for a while. Teach us something on how a pro does it." Flintlockbeard was getting confused by this, but his ego was being stroked, so he didn't suspect that anything was amiss. Flintlockbeard,
"I'll do more than that. I'm dedicating my shot to you,"
gestures to Naomi,
"M'lady, and you will see why I'm the superior gentleman and marksman."
Naomi, forcing herself to play along, "I'm looking forward to seeing a pro in action." Bro, this is like some classic cuckoldry moment. Who would stand here and tolerate this? What the hell are you doing, OP? Jack him in the chin with the butt of your gun right now. We could tell that his guard was being let down because he was being more of a jerk-off than he usually was. Flintlockbeard,
"Oh, I planned to, my fair maiden. You just watch. When you see how much better I am than OP, you will leave him for me, the true man."
Yeah, I guess technically, biologically. Predictably, not only did Flintlockbeard fail to hit on his first shot, he also missed his second shot. He was screaming and cussing up a storm, and he had to be basically threatened by the event staff to either calm down or he would be banned from all competition for the rest of the day. He started snotting and crying because he probably thought,
"M'lady isn't being swooned by this. What's going on?"
Then he finally hit the target on his third shot. Flintlockbeard,
"This competition is so juvenile. The wind always kicked up right as I was about to shoot. This is an outrage. Naomi, please don't look any less upon me. I know I can win your heart. Just give me some time. I'll show you."
Oh, I don't think it's possible for me to look on you any less. Naomi, who is done with the plan at this point, instead says, "There's really nothing to prove to me. All you've proven to me is that you talk a big game, but you can't come through when it actually matters."
Oh snap, now it's getting really real.
Hank says, "Hey, come on now, he's just having a bad day." OP,
"No, he's not having a bad day. He's having a bad life."
Yeah, I'm having a bad life right now too.
Why don't you go back to your tent, Flintlockbeard? Have a long look at your life and come back when you can compete with the rest of us and have fun.
Cheryl, they're right, Flintlockbeard. You need to calm down and take a chill pill for once. Instead of bragging, why don't you actually behave yourself and compete without being such a jerk? We would all enjoy shooting with you if you weren't so insufferable. Flintlockbeard, still sobbing,
"Screw all of you. I don't have to do anything. I'm fine the way I am. You all just stay away from me or you'll be sorry."
God, he really is just like a sulking teenager. And with that, Flintlockbeard went pouting and stomping back to his tent. I wondered if there was a nearby Richter scale that went off with how hard he was stomping. It wasn't the result we were going for, but at least he was out of our hair for the rest of the day. Cheryl got a 5 in her time up, and Hank struggled but managed to hit the target on his third try. Hank, man, that was a hard shot. I don't know how I did it, but I got it. Cheryl, we all did good. We all did better than Flintlockbeard, but I'm worried that our plan's gonna backfire. We kinda sabotaged it by being real with him. I'll be honest with you, Cheryl, it's a really stupid plan anyways. Let the court system do its work, okay? Naomi says, we wanted his guard down and him to think that he was gonna school all of us. OP?
Well, there's still an opportunity to be had here. He's angry now and his ego was damaged. He could end up doing anything. And that's when we have to be able to document it and use it and add that to all that we have on him.
We went on to the other competition, a speed challenge, seeing how many aimed shots with a rifle we could get off in 5 minutes. For those of you who might not know, loading a muzzleloader is a long process compared to what we're able to do with modern firearms. Under ideal conditions, trained soldiers or even reenactors can get off 3 to 4 shots in a minute with a musket. With a rifle, it's a longer process since the ball has to fit snugly in the rifling of the barrel. Cheryl got off 4 shots, I got off 3, and Hank was really close to getting 3 off as well. Then we started to walk over to where the trap and skeet shooters were. Haha, yeah, skeet. We thought all things were clear of Beard, but then Club President came up to us and he did not look happy. Club President,
I have to speak to all 3 of you. Naomi, could you give us all a few minutes?
Oh, he's gonna beg for mercy, isn't he? Too bad, bro. I don't give a fuck you cheated on your wife. Your brother-in-law's a loser too. I'll burn this whole shit down on principle. You hear me? Naomi says, yeah, sure. I'm kind of tired anyways. I'm gonna go back to the tent. OP.
Are you sure you'll be okay?
Naomi, yeah, I'll be okay. I have what you gave me, and Flintlockbeard doesn't know where our campsite is. Why not just bring her with you? Anything you could say to me, you could say in front of her. That's the line, all right? We all focused our attention on Club President as Naomi left. Club President,
so I just spoke with Flintlockbeard, and he said you all were being mean to him, making fun of his life choices, saying he was useless, and that you all hated him.
Yeah, I mean, those things are mostly accurate. OP says,
CP, let me stop you right there. That's not even close to what happened. We all told him that he's been an insufferable jerk and that he really needs to reevaluate his life and not be such a racist asshole.
Cheryl, why haven't you done anything to stop him or at least help him change? Hank, he also whines and throws a tantrum and quits when he loses at something, even though he's the biggest braggart I've ever seen. We told him that if he wasn't the way he is and had some fun, then we could all have fun with him too. Club President,
I can't really do anything. He knows about my infidelity and has used it against me if I do anything. And now with a lawsuit pending, I can't abandon him.
Okay, cool. We all know about your infidelity too now, though. So you either oust him or, well, wifey's gonna find out one way or the other. But at least you can find yourself on the right side of history. As if there was one. History is written by the victors. All 3 of us just looked at each other in stunned silence. Hank and Cheryl walked away. Club President,
hey, I'm not done yet.
OP.
No, trust me, dude. You are done. We are done with this conversation. It's obvious you won't and can't do anything. Look, I'm sorry that he has dirt on you, but this is your mess that you refuse to clean up.
I then walked away to join Hank and Cheryl. We watched the skeet shooters for a little bit, and then made our way back to the campsite as we decided when we had had enough for one day. Warning, things are about to take a huge nosedive, so yeah, strap in, hold on tight. If you don't want to be triggered, now is the time to definitely turn back. So, we were making our way back to the campsite, which was on the far end of some of the vendors that were there, and then we heard screaming. Now, where we were, it wasn't uncommon for lynx to be around, as this rendezvous was basically out in the wilderness, so we thought it was a lynx fighting with something, as that's what it sounded like. But then we heard words. Human words. Stop! Stop it! Help! Help! We had a sinking feeling in our stomachs. I know because I had it, and Cheryl and Hank told me so after. We all recognized that voice. It was Naomi. We all ran to the campsite. Now we had our rifles on us, but Hank was really good at running and loading. He was at that rendezvous for several reasons, but because there was a competition for something like that, he was really excited for it. So as we ran, he loaded up his rifle. We all got to our campsite and opened up the tent door and saw who else but Flintlockbeard holding Naomi down. His pants were off. Shoot him in the back of the head. Do it now. We solved this situation real quick. Flintlockbeard,
stop fighting it, Temptress. You will be mine.
Temptress. There's a few things that break the tension of this scene for me. One is like a tangent about Hank being really good at running and reloading. The other, Temptress. Cheryl says, "Get off of her!" Cheryl got down and tried to get Flintlockbeard off of Naomi before I could, but he threw her off. I then nailed him in the back of the head with the butt of my rifle. There you go. That knocked him into a daze, long enough for Naomi to get out from underneath him. Her jeans were ripped down, but luckily her thong was still pulled up. She jumped into my arms, sobbing and in hysterics. Well, evidence enough. Time for a citizen's arrest, isn't it? Naomi, that fat tub of shit tried to assault me, saying that I was rightfully his and I needed to submit. Hank had his rifle loaded and trained on Flintlockbeard's head. Flintlockbeard came out of his dazed state. Flintlockbeard, what the hell hit me? OP,
the butt of my rifle, you disgusting shithead.
Dude, Hank, pull the trigger, bro. It's not something I encourage lightly, but we can make sure that he don't hurt nobody no more, you know? Cheryl was on the phone with 911, telling the dispatch that a rape was just stopped and to send police immediately. I know this was out in the wilderness, but there was still enough cell reception to make emergency calls. Hank, don't move. I'll turn your head into mush. Flintlockbeard, for probably the first time in his adult life, did as he was told. Security then came over and tried to go after Hank for having a gun trained on Flintlockbeard, but Cheryl, who was still on the phone with 911, said that the police were on their way. Hank smartly put his rifle down, but quickly told the security officers, who had modern-day firearms and handcuffs, what had just happened. Flintlockbeard then had the nerve to try and say,
I wasn't doing anything. That temptress lured me back to this tent, and we were interrupted in our passion.
Cheryl and I had to physically restrain Naomi because she screamed and tried to lunge at him with the patch knife that I had given her. You lying sack of shit, Naomi said. I didn't lure you or anything else like that. You barged into the tent and started in on me. You tried to rape me. Club president and range safety officer then showed up, as did about 30 other people because of the commotion. Range safety officer, in his full, ready-to-tear-someone-apart voice, what the hell happened here? Flintlockbeard, what'd you do? Club president,
calm down, range safety officer. We can't jump to any conclusions.
Oh, he's becoming more beardy with his voice. All three of us screamed, practically in unison, Flintlockbeard tried to assault Naomi. Club president,
my God, Flintlockbeard, is this true?
Flintlockbeard,
of course it isn't. This is a witch hunt to try and bring me down. They can't stand the fact that I'm better than they are, and that Naomi should be with me and not OP.
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not how any of this works. Stop it. At this point, we were done, completely done with Club President, with Flintlockbeard, and with this shooting club in general. We got our membership cards out, threw them at Club President, and Hank said, you can go shove those up your asshole, man. OP.
This isn't over. You will be hearing from our attorneys.
The cops finally showed up. They arrested Flintlockbeard and, unfortunately, Hank, but the charges against him were dropped about an hour later when all of us gave our statements to the police. All told, Flintlockbeard ended up sentenced to 18 years in prison for attempted rape, lewd conduct, harassment, stalking, causing the maiming of an individual with a deadly weapon, negligent negligent discharge of a firearm, even though it was his son that did it, and they even found that he was engaged in fraud, and he perjured himself during the trial. Yeah, he'd never been too bright. I'm surprised he stayed out of jail for as long as he did, honestly. I almost lost my love of muzzleloaders that summer, and I didn't touch any of them for almost a year. I realized that I couldn't let that douche win, and I picked him up again and got back into it, but on my own, or with friends, not as part of some muzzleloader club. Yeah, there's nothing cringier than a club, except for the ReddX fan club. Hey, hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, thanks. Hank later moved out of state for his job, and we fell out of contact. This is the first time I've talked about him since all of this happened. Cheryl and I eventually grew to be real good friends. We even dated for a little bit after things fell apart between Naomi and I. We're still really good friends, and I told her I was writing this, and she was like, I haven't thought about that for a long time. Let me know when it's all written out. It'd be nice to look back on it. Had it not been for Flintlockbeard getting what he deserved, I wouldn't be able to say that. He didn't get what he deserved. He got 18 years in jail. It wasn't until the point that he died in jail that he got what he deserved. And OP has confirmed in the Discord that yes, Flintlockbeard did end up being assaulted and dying in jail. And nothing of value was lost. Naomi went downhill after this event. She fell in with a real bad crowd, started drinking heavily, partying, sleeping around, getting into the goth punk scene, and generally becoming someone who I didn't even recognize anymore. Oop, time for therapy, I think. I blamed myself for this because if she hadn't gone to that rendezvous with us, none of that might ever have happened. I don't even know where she is now or if she's even alive. Last I knew she was in Texas, but that was 3 years ago and she didn't look too good. I hope wherever she is, she turned her life around. It's never too late. Wow, that feels really terrible, man. But I get it. You can't really tie yourself to a sinking ship. At a certain point, you gotta say, obviously you don't want help. I gotta get up and out. Victim did win his lawsuit, and the club was forced to pay for his medical bills that the VA didn't cover, and for his loss of work and recovery time. I found out that he passed away a few years ago from ALS, aka Lou Gehrig's disease. Rip to you, Victim. Turns out that you were mortal after all. But still really goddamn tough for a mortal, you know? As for the shooting club, it got shut down. Good. Flintlockbeard is still in prison, last I heard. And then he died in there, last I heard. And club president and range safety officer have both passed away since. For myself, well, I too went downhill after this. Not as bad as Naomi, but I still engaged in some of those same activities. Fall of 2008 to fall of 2010 was a very rough time in my life. And even though Cheryl and I dated for a little bit of it, we worked better as friends. Maybe I'll write a story about that, as I went down the path of a nice guy neckbeard, but thankfully it was my wife, some really close friends, who were able to pull me out of that and get my head on straight. Anyway, that's about gonna do it for me now. I hope y'all enjoyed the story and learned that there are different kinds of beards out there. Some are derpy, some are smelly and insufferable, and others can be dangerous when cornered and left unattended. Yeah, we have a good record of all those things, that's true. If beards like Weezybeard, Wolfbeard, and Chris Trucker exist, then Flintlockbeard doesn't seem so far-fetched. I mean, you ain't gotta build the case for me, man. I believe you, okay? It's fine. I think people that say, oh, this couldn't have possibly happened, are the ones that live like sort of sheltered lives, and that's great. I hope you never have to find out that people like this really do exist. My wife is awake now, so gotta tend to her. Take care, ReddX University beard scientists. Remember to keep your powder dry and your eyes on the target. Happy and safe shooting. And until the next time, Jack Bunny 1988, aka Mr. Floppy 19, out. It's a wordy outro. P.S. If any of you are wondering about my username, it's a play on words. Because like Jack Benny, but then Bunny because he likes bunnies. Anyway, that's all. As Mindy from Animaniacs famously said.
Okay, I love you, bye-bye.
I don't know if my heart is getting harder as I get on in age. I think it's that we haven't really developed the rapport with Naomi that would require me to break down in tears. What happened to her? Despicable, sad, an entire life ruined. But Flintlockbeard died too, so maybe it's just desserts, or maybe two wrongs don't make a right. I'm really not sure. If I could choose for it to never have happened, I would definitely choose that, but we can only move on from where we are. If you would like to hear another story about a beard who did get his just desserts, Well, that is in a playlist right here for your perusal. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
My sister sends them to me.